I'll do it.
Yeah, do it.
Welcome to the Terror Zone Podcast, live from Lincoln Park, Michigan. Today's guest, we have Chris Trestane.
Chris Trestane.
Audio engineer, guitar player extraordinaire. Fucking hardcore dude.
Yeah, I'm a dude.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, I'm glad we made it.
Jeff Sanchez, did you introduce yourself?
I did not. How are you doing?
Good, fantastic.
Thanks for having us.
It's good that you guys came because, back when you guys were active, it was, you guys were the fucking shit. You know, that was the shows to be at, the heaviest shows, like you and the Tyrant and stuff like that. Just setting off Detroit all the fucking time. It seemed like a couple
It was
shows
cool, man. I mean, we had a really good run.
Yeah.
I think we were just discussing on the way over, like, the interesting part about, like, what you're doing. Congratulations on, like, having a cool show and having amazing guests, like, having real conversations and shit like that. Is that, like, I don't really know that we considered ourselves, and I'm pretty positive that the public did not consider us a Detroit hardcore band, because that sound is very specific, you know. Chris is probably could technically describe it a little bit better than I did, but we were sort of mimicking what turned us on at the time. And what turned us on, it's not that we didn't like Detroit hardcore bands. We liked fucking Hatebreed and fucking Buried Alive and fucking, you know, Bury Your Dead was brand new at the time when we were, like, just first starting. So it was like...
Yeah, Throwdown and all that shit. Yeah.
Throwdown was definitely a big thing.
It is the sound that you get from early Throwdown for sure.
Yeah. And, you know, I think that ultimately a lot of the guys that spent time playing with the band were more punk, I think, than anything else. So we were just kind of following a program, and we had so much fun. And we were really fortunate enough to have, like Chris, not only who, I mean, it's basically Chris's band. So, I mean, Chris started the band, and he called me and was like, do you want to sing in a band or whatever? And at that point, I hadn't really
Well, it's kind of like that. Well, I'd say I started the band. Well, the band actually started with one of the guys that was in Black Dahlia Murder, John Deere. John started the band with dudes that were in that, the Plague.
Matt Durda.
Yeah, our old first bass player, our old drummer, Phil
LaPointe.
So we played, like, I think one show with those dudes.
One show with Phil and Durda, and Phil quit after the first show.
Yeah.
What year was this? 04 or so?
It was April of 04.
Yeah,
right?
It was I don't remember actually what year.
We had to consult the Detroit hardcore loser brain trust, Justin Schrank, to get the actual fucking details of all this shit, because he has all the flyers and all the tapes and all the records and all that stuff, and I always have to hit him up like, hey man, when did this happen? He'd be like, bring it up, give me some details. He'd be like, oh yeah, I guess I remember now. I guess.
Because that was what, the Bleeding Through show or whatever.
So I caught you guys early because I went to that
was like our
show.
first show.
Bleeding Through?
Yeah.
I thought that was our first one, but I also had a vague memory of, like, there was like a HIMSA Full Blown Chaos something. So, like, we were good friends with Ramona, and, like, the band Let It Die would have never done a goddamn thing without Chris's efforts doing the work, because none of us did shit, and Ramona, like, throwing us a bone and helping us out. Like, she put us on whatever show we wanted to be on and whatever, and I think that she had sort of gifted us this Bleeding Through show, which was, like, sold out. It was, like, before the fire marshals came in and cut the capacity of the Detroit shelter in half, because it went from 425 to, like, 225. Like a week after that show.
Yeah, I remember that. That was one of the first heavier shows I went to. And I was going to see Bleeding Through in HIMSA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I was in the fuck Let It Die. I didn't know. Oh shit, that's the first time I seen
HIMSA.
like.
See, I get it.
Maybe it was that
All War or something.
Crime and Stereo.
Crime and Stereo, maybe. Yeah. But Ramona called us and she's like, "Yo, you want to do this favor for me or whatever? I need a local opener." We were like, "Sure, we'll do that."
A favor? Okay, yeah. We'll play a sold out show.
Right. No, the Bleeding Through one was the gift. The Full Blown Chaos one kind of manifested itself as the favor because somebody dropped off last minute, and they needed somebody to just come in and just, like, play while the kids are walking in, type of thing. So we did that.
How'd you know Ramona though? Did you guys already working doing like stage shit then? Were you just a teenage? How old were you guys? That's a good.
I mean, I was like my early 20s at that time, but
How old are you?
I'm about to turn 40.
Okay.
I guess in August.
I'm 38, so I was in my late teens, early 20s, and
So I was like, I think I was like 20. What? So it's 2004, so I would have been like 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember exactly how I met Ramona, other than just, like, going to shows. Like, I started going to shows when I was super young. when I grew up in Inkster and then moved to Westland and went to Livonia schools. And so where my parents lived at the time, what we would do is walk around. It was a one-way in, one-way out neighborhood. We'd walk around the blocks. There was this old senile dude that couldn't get up off his couch, and we'd just go through his backyard, jump over the gate, walk through the field of the asylum, and Pharaoh's was right there.
Oh,
so,
shit, okay.
you know, like one of the earliest shows that I went to would have been December of '98, and it was Earth Mover's final show. Walls of Jericho's first show, I think. Tryphon played, which was Matt Hayes and Dave Hayes at the time. Extinction played. Birthright played. Catharsis played. It was fucking sick, ridiculous show, dude. And it was like the first time that I like got a glimpse of like what a real hardcore, like a real packed, violent hardcore show was like. And I was like, dude, I can walk to this place and see this shit.
Yeah, for sure. Lucky as
like
fuck.
I'm in, totally in. So I started going to shows then, and then I think that there's a blank period that I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember how we got in with like Ramona and all them, because I know you and like Mike McDonald and like Chris Holland and all of them working at.
So my buddy Mike and I, we went to high school together. Yeah, that's what they call him.
Yeah.
That's what they call him.
I was all from Alvin's.
Yeah, so he and I went to high school together, and he's always gone to shows too. And he, I think, started working downtown or just hanging out downtown at an early age, and I went along with him. And then I met a buddy of ours, also Chris, who was heavily involved in like going to shows and working some of those venues, stagehand, doing production manager positions and stuff like that. And he got me a gig doing stagehand work eventually when we started doing like little weekends or even like 2-week stints on tour. Just to make ends meet, I couldn't get a job, so I would come home and like just do $45 in, $45 out to load in Ministry or fucking Snow Patrol. I worked so many random fucking shows at like St. Andrews and Majestic and whatever. So becoming friends with them is kind of how I met Ramona. And then we became tighter over the years, but basically our relationship started as I was begging her for favors, and she was just a fucking sweetheart like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I mean, I would say she's the number one reason that guy was successful.
Number one, 100%.
Her hooking us up with shows that we, to be honest, probably didn't deserve to play when we first started.
100%.
Like, it set us off, and I mean, it didn't hurt that we didn't suck, and like we were playing music that I think was
It's really
the right.
good.
It was the right place, the right place
at the time, right?
Yeah, it was the right place, the right time.
The interesting thing is I don't think that we quite feel connected to that material as much. I still think that the musical writing is whatever, but personally, lyrically, like it was a completely different lifetime ago, and I was a different person, probably going through stuff that I didn't have the tools to know how to navigate at the time.
Yeah, if I just want to say something, like the lyrics to me at the time, like you'd be a little younger, like growing up and listening to whatever the fuck you were saying, like sort of resonates and sticks with you and how to live your life in a way.
Cool.
Whatever you said, because I was like 17, 18, and whatever you said,
I appreciate it, dude, because like we've gone back and listened to the records throughout the years, and I listen to it, and I'm just like, oh,
You look back and like laugh at it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I have to laugh about it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
But
But,
it was me, I'm like, I'm never listening to that again.
No,
because I don't listen to a podcast. I fucking did. Then,
Yeah, no, I have a hard time. I'm gonna
myself.
struggle trying to listen to this later.
yeah, right.
Yeah, well, because you probably evolved playing guitar as well into like different sound effects.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess for me, I was just saying more just like listening to myself talk when I'm doing recording. But yeah,
it fucking sucks.
But yeah, it's always weird.
I sound like an asshole. We all sound like assholes to ourselves.
Yeah, it's always awkward.
So our relationship as a band with Ramona was amazing. My personal relationship evolved from there and still continues to this day. I love that woman to death. I would, as much as I could handle it, I would do anything for her, you know what I mean? There was a point in my life where I was down and out, and she fucking let me sleep in her attic for like 6 months. There was like this fucking triangular nook in her hot ass attic, and I just put a mattress in there and had my belongings in like plastic bins, and I just fucking slept in her attic for a while. And in exchange, she was super busy booking shows and stuff, so I watched Kane, her amazing dog, and we, you know,
That's great.
it was great. We helped each other out. It was amazing.
Yeah, even without her, I don't know if somebody else would have stepped up at the time with her doing all the booking shit, like the Black Iron. I don't know if it was at the time, but always her flyers. All the bands I've always been into, like, because of her, without seeing those fucking flyers all over Alvin's and wherever else, you fucking snatching them like, I'm gonna check this band out.
Yeah.
Well, because of her.
Yeah.
You know,
I
booking a lot of shit.
I haven't gone to as many shows throughout the last 10, 15 years as I was going to, but I can say that I experienced so many performances in the city of Detroit, by so many different bands from different walks of life and different genres that would go up on that stage, and then it would be like, dude, this song goes out to Ramona. We would have never had a chance to play a show in Detroit if it wasn't her. And you're talking anywhere from, like, you know, name like a Cold as Life, or like a national band like a Buried Alive or something,
Right.
all the way up to My Chemical Romance, who at one point in the mid-2000s was one of the biggest bands in the entire world. She put them on their first show. I fucking remember seeing that band at the Shelter. They opened for American Nightmare, Hope Conspiracy, and Every Time I Die, and they got booed off the fucking stage. Get these fucking guys the fuck off the stage. And then they ended up being like a worldwide
band in the
massive
world, yeah.
success. And, you know, a lot of people might say that Ramona is responsible for putting them on in this part of the country, for sure.
Good. Shout out to Ramona.
Fuck
Yes,
yeah.
definitely.
She's supposed to do this eventually. We've been trying. We had a date and shit fucking blew up as usual. You know.
Oh, she's
Mona's a
she's
busy
definitely
woman,
someone
man.
that makes sense.
Well, yeah, no, it just that's on my end as usual.
Oh yeah,
But,
sure. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, because we had a date earlier, and you had a breakdown or something, right?
yeah, and
Fucking truck broke down?
Fucking dating like an asshole.
Dude, did you go to Blind Rage Records when you were in Dayton?
No, I'm in
They
and
got
out,
this new
man.
fucking record
Hop
shop?
out, I'm back.
They have this new record shop in fucking Dayton. It's called Blind Rage. It's all like punk, hardcore,
No shit.
deep shit, original pressings. If you're into that nerdy shit, dude,
No.
his shit's awesome. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get there, but I have definitely hit him up on Instagram and be like, yo, dude, I need to get that, like, obscure fucking pressing of that weird death metal record or whatever. Like, can I just buy it and you ship it to me or whatever? He's hooked me up, so
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not a record guy. I have one record, and I think you recorded it, the Build and Destroy demo, the 7-inch. Yeah. I had.
No, those are the only. I'm not a record guy either. Those are the only records I have are like bands I recorded and they gave me the record. Like, which is it's always awesome. But yeah, I don't even have like a record player to listen to.
I mean, I ordered the Coldest Life one though. You know, shit. For
Got
sure,
to,
I did.
dude.
Yeah,
Got
it's
to.
I don't have a record player still, but I got to get one of those.
You know what's funny? Funny story is, like, you know, obviously everyone loves Cold's Life. That shit was fucking awesome to see that they were able to release that. And then I was watching it live. And I have been in the food, beverage, hospitality industry for a lot of years, and kind of been a little bit like a beer nerd, a little bit of like a wine nerd. And they have a lot of these online sales, and they'll sell like 100 bottles of this or 500 bottles of that. And unless you're like a fucking Quicken Loan nerd with like 4 computers, you know, and then your wife next to you with 2 other computers trying to figure out how to get this fucking bottle,
Yeah.
you can't get it because it sells out in 30 seconds, right?
Right.
So these fucking beer nerds have been whooping my ass trying to get these rare, you know, collectible items or whatever for 10 years. I got both versions of that Coldest Life record super fucking easily, and it sold out in 1 minute. People were super fucking pissed. I was like, God damn, I waited 10 years to fucking win one of these battles, and I finally did.
That's so
I'm
good.
super fucking psyched, because I think those things, like, at least the concept photos that they put out look fucking amazing, so that's awesome.
Yeah, fucking. I'm happy they can just, you know, give whatever back. You know, put out the album again. People have been asking for it forever.
Yeah, man.
Ooh, I'm not a record guy, but fucking good to keep it relevant, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of Mike McDonald, dude, I think he had one of the better fucking collections of original Coldest Life merch that out of anybody that I know. I'm sure there's older dudes that have all the OG stuff, but
Yeah.
dude, he was way into it. He's probably still got a bunch of that shit. I bet.
Okay.
I bet.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
Well, how did you guys, you know, meet? Did you go to school when you moved to wherever? High
Yeah,
school?
I think we
Because like, we're going to shows at the same time.
technically
or
went
somebody
to
introduced
we went
you?
to the same high school
Okay.
for half a year. Maybe actually we might not have though because I was ahead of you. I went to Franklin. I went to Franklin for half a year.
Oh, when did you graduate?
Well, I went to Franklin my freshman year, and then
Okay.
moved 2 miles and then went to Stevenson.
Yeah.
So-
We didn't meet in high school, but we met
Yeah.
from common friends because we both went to Livonia.
Like high school friends.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I graduated from Livonia Franklin, and we met through Tim, I guess, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so I was in like a bad kid program with Stu James, and James's brother would come in every once in a while, and that was his older brother Tim, and he was into like extreme metal and shit like that, and I was like wearing like Earth Crisis windbreakers to class and shit, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
people were like he came up to me, he's like, dude, what's up? And then eventually like we'd hang out, and
She might get you. I have to be careful. She's
oh, is she clawing people? Dude?
if you touch her, she might.
I'm not touching it.
She's being nice.
For a second. Tell me she bipolar is fucked.
So Chris and I started hanging out and probably just going to the same shows. And
Yeah, and like, yeah, Tim, you're saying he's still like one of my best friends. He
Uh-huh.
was my best man at my wedding and shit. So
Right.
yeah, he's like, yeah.
And so we were kind of, I think, like, we were loft rats for a little while, I think.
Yep.
The
good old
and
lofts,
we talked about that
lofts.
on the show before. The loft,
Redford?
yeah, 7 and Beach.
Yep.
So we would go there and, you know, party and, like, hang out with bands. And then, like, I was in, like, a band that did nothing. We did, like, a show at Mosquito Club or Token. And then we did a show at the Flint Local. It was called Landfill with a bunch of dudes. And then some of those dudes did a death metal project with Chris called Kill by Numbers, which was fucking hilarious and good. And they played an epic show, dude, at Harpo's. Where this lineup was so weird. It was like Kill by Numbers, Poison the Well, Cryptopsy, Dying Fetus, or something like that.
Wow.
It was
It was a
so
ridiculous
fucking
show.
out there.
Yeah, I
I thought
remember
it was amazing.
But yeah, that was what, God, fucking Harpo's though.
Harpo's fucking, what a smelly piece of shit.
Well,
That's the worst place.
He did well. You know, well, who's that dude?
That comes
That,
up.
the guy everyone taught it would just fuck everyone.
Who books everyone?
Yeah, Snoop.
Snoop or something.
Snoop,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. The fucking sells.
I never
fucking
played,
tickets.
so I never knew much about
Yeah,
that.
no, like
People
the whole
were
Harpo's thing
frustrated.
were-
Oh yeah, you know
Oh,
what?
the
There
sell
was like
tickets.
yeah. So we give you like a stack of tickets. You'd be like, sell this shit, and then you can play. You know, and then like you play at 2:00 in the band, and people wouldn't even start getting there till like 6 or
Yeah.
8. You know.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah,
Your doors don't open
Yeah,
till
load in
7.
at noon.
Well, people are like, I'm selling these tickets, and it's fucking Dying Fetus or whatever. You know, like or whatever. Like I
Yeah.
bet like Slipknot or something like that. You know what I mean? Would do shit.
It was all a scam because it was like, you know, he was just him trying to make sure that they sold more tickets, and at the end of the day, all he cared. A lot of the bands would end up just giving him the money so they could play the show.
Right.
It was such a fucked up.
Yeah,
thing,
because
like
you couldn't
they wouldn't
sell the tickets, right? Yeah.
and it's like fuck.
So you'd have to pay to play.
Yeah.
And that's how that worked.
Because he'd be like, well, we got to give them, because he
Okay,
said
okay.
he would give you, hey, these tickets are worth, you can sell them for 12, but I want $7 or $10 for every ticket you sell, and you can keep the rest. But you'd end up never selling them all, or like you'd sell like 5 to like your friends, and you'd be like, got like 95 tickets left over. Like, what the fuck?
Money and they're like, cool, we're playing with Slipknot.
Yeah, something like that, but
Like Biohazard or fucking whatever.
We just paid $500 to play at 2 p.m. It was
Yeah,
sick.
fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Biohazard's not even there yet.
Right. So he did the Kill by Numbers thing, and then this is one that probably a few people know about, but Chris and I did a band that never played a show called Chuggernaut. And it was like,
That was
it
the
was like the
beginning.
beginning of our smart ass attitude that eventually translated into Let It Die significantly. And it was just like, we were just making a joke. Like, I think the opening track had a soundbite from Major Pain with Damon Wayans. Chugga, 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 chugga. And then it would just be like, breakdowns or whatever, you know? We never
That's
played
the
a
thing. It was
show.
always like we would refer to the shit like breakdowns, like chug, chug, chug,
Yeah,
or whatever
right.
shit. So it was like, yeah. So we were like, instead of Juggernaut, we'll be
Yeah.
the Chuggernaut.
And it was just so obscene, you know what I mean? It was so ridiculous. Like
I
the bands
like
would
it.
come out and they'd have these ridiculous breakdowns. Like although we liked it and we liked going to shows and we would mosh and like have a good time or whatever, we also just like we're just like, this is fucking stupid as hell. But we
yeah.
love it.
Oh, and I mean, yeah. Like obviously we had a bit of irony in it, and with the
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
like, yeah, like let's just make it fun. And that's what I think. Like that's what carried over. Right? You're saying kind of like Let It Die was like never take ourselves too serious.
Yeah,
Type
nothing
thing.
was ever serious, and I think that was ultimately the thing that like, we didn't really get like that ultimate like hardcore respect. I don't think just because like we didn't really fucking give a shit, dude. We were like fortunate enough to have the relationship with the people that we did. We played the shows. We went in. Fucking whatever, man. Like, this is a hobby. This is what we like to do, and we were lucky enough to have opportunities to fucking do it. I mean, up to like, dude, we played Hellfest 2004 in Syracuse. I'm super happy to tell that story. before we get into like the beginning of Let It Die, if you want to, because we had
Oh,
a buddy.
yeah.
So basically, through the website, they were like, "Oh, these small bands can like submit a demo, and like you could play a stage at Hellfest." And we're like, "Oh fuck yeah, we don't fucking play Hellfest." Like we
it was the biggest
go
thing
there
going on
and we
right now.
enjoy it every year or whatever. So like we would love to play it because we're an established band. We thought so anyway. And so we get on the thing. And like basically they start to run this campaign where you submit their demo, they post the demo on their site, and there's like pre-text message, like pre a lot of the things that we have now with like our smartphones, and people will vote for the winner, and the winner will get a spot on a stage, Hot Topic stage or some shit at, which was kind of fraudulent at the time, but fuck man, those shows were stacked, man. Every band that you'd ever want to see were playing in a matter of 3 days. And so
DVDs, I remember.
we started to see, because you could check the progress and how many votes you're getting, and we could see that we were getting like our asses handed to us in votes, and we're like, fuck man, how are we not getting any votes at all? So we contacted a buddy of ours, and that buddy figured out a way to create a bot on the internet, and we faked
What the fuck?
we fake votes. We don't give a fuck. Like, you get the votes, put like 10,000 votes in there, and we're gonna fucking win, and we won. And then we won the show. So fuck everybody. And I'll tell you what, we played at noon on the second day on the smallest stage, and 500 kids watched us, and it was fucking amazing.
That's great,
So
man.
I don't know, kiss my ass. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember all those DVDs though. Like there's so many people there at the Hellfest shows, and then it just stopped out of nowhere. I know there's some weird drama behind that, but I don't know it. But it just
I don't know much about
stopped.
I remember when, they haven't done those for a little while, have they?
No, that changed to something else, and there was another Hellfest like somewhere else, like, but it was fucking huge.
Well, Hellfest has been a big European festival for a long time. But
Yeah, I know
completely
they have
different
that
thing.
one different.
Oh, so not the same.
No,
fest
it's a
at all.
completely different
Okay.
thing. Yeah, this was, man, was the first one 98 or 99? The first DVD was 2000, but I think they did it a year or two before then. And then,
Because I went to
did they
one
skip
in
one?
like.
Did they skip 2001?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. I think they skipped 2001, and then they did 02, which was in this huge outdoor park that was amazing. Fucking Dillinger Escape Plan closed one night and set the stage on fire and just left. It was fucking amazing.
I remember like that was one of my introductions to hardcore, because like I think I've talked to you about this. Like I didn't have like I guess some of the typical like path into hardcore. I came more through like new metal, I guess, into hardcore, just because that's what I got into for whatever reason when I was like 10 or 12 or whatever. But yeah, like what were we just talking about? Sorry.
That's right, Hellfest.
Yeah. Fuck.
Dude, I have so many
That's
memories.
totally-
Dude, I got fucking destroyed at the 02 when we went to that.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry.
02. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, that was like one of my introductions was going to one of the first Hellfests. Was because like I didn't really know a lot. I just remember I was like listening to like a bunch of new metal, and I'd always like gravitate towards like the heavier new metal.
Sure.
And I'd be like, man, like my buddies would all be like getting down, like, hey, let's listen to 311. I'm like, no, man, put on the fucking whatever with the most screaming possible. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Sure.
But yeah, it was like, I just remember like I started hearing some of that music, and I was like, holy shit, this is it. This is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
I'd heard Buried Alive, and I saw they were playing at like, I remember I saw them at the Token or something randomly, and that was like, I don't know if that was with you.
Was it
Tim,
Pharaohs
but
or Token?
I think it was Pharaohs actually.
Pharaohs,
yeah.
yeah.
It was
Pharaohs
like
is
the
still
side little one. Yeah.
Pharaohs made it until I think about 99. I think is when they closed Pharaohs. They couldn't handle it because the walls were getting thrashed up, and I don't know what was going on with the management or whatever. But I think that the venue just couldn't make ends meet or whatever, and the shows were just getting fucking gnarly. Like, and you're talking about like I finally found what I'm looking for. Like I remember watching Tryphon at that fucking Earth Mover show, and like I think they had to. So Tryphon never like made it through like the full set. It seemed like. Because people would go so fucking crazy, or the band would go crazy, and like it would just fucking be mass hysteria. And I think like somebody got like their eye poked out or something like that, and they had to like stop for like 5 minutes, and then I think they played one more song, and it was that's all that the crowd could handle.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like that's what I remember about that Hellfest was I think it might have been the first DVD one, because I remember it was like one of my first like big hardcore things I went to. And I went to that, I was like, I don't know what it was, 98, 99 or something. And I remember Converge played. I never even knew who Converge was. And they played, and like as soon as they started, they opened up with like Saddest Gay, and just the whole it just was. Insanity, and like a dude's eye got knocked out and was
Holy
hanging
shit.
out of his fucking eye socket with
Yes.
like the nerves, and I was like, that's like my introduction to hardcore shows.
Dude, I
was like,
got
all right,
so going. It was
let's do
funny the callback nature of this conversation, like we were just talking about Hellfest. Because I remember watching Until the End at Hellfest 02, and I was trying to climb up on the stage to participate in the sing along for one of the fucking huge songs or whatever, and I got fucking booted like right in the fucking eyeball, and I remember like, oh my god, like is this how I die? It was fucking gnarly, dude. Like not even in the eye socket, like the eyeball just got jammed back into the fucking back of my head. It was so fucking gnarly. That was amazing. But do you remember that second stage? Because we went to Hellfest 02 together, right?
Yeah, that was the one that was the outside one or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I remember when we found out it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the second stage, and we're like, dude, fucking the guy from Buried Alive has a new band, and it's just called Terror, and they're playing or whatever, and we're like, we gotta go see it, and like we went early and like went to go check out the stage for Terror,
Yeah.
and who was playing right before Terror? Black Dahlia Murder.
Holy
So
shit.
we were like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? They're like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? We're like, fucking
Yeah, we guys boys that, but you knew those people?
I mean, just because like they would, for a while, like Mr. Muggs and Ypsilanti, a lot of these other venues, they opened for like a shitload of hardcore and or metalcore bands. Like I
Yeah,
saw
I
them
mean,
with A Death for Every Sin.
You remember their
I saw-
first demo?
Yeah,
like,
What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse or something like
I
that.
don't know.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to that? Like their first demo.
I know who they
is-
are, but I don't know the demo.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
so, well, Black Dahlia, obviously, they're like,
Death
you know,
metal.
death metal. It's
100%.
straight up death metal now, but like when their first shit, it was moshcore.
Yeah.
For
It
real?
was like
Yeah, I don't know.
It was like
I didn't know that.
yeah,
They opened up
they,
for Life Once Lost. I saw them with Death for Every Sin. I saw them with Seven Angels, Seven Plagues. I saw them with Circle of Dead Children. That's a little bit more metal, but dude, you'd see them play opening hardcore band, like hardcore shows. And
Remember,
I mean, there
their
was
first-
even later, dude. Like
yeah.
after Let It Die was a band, I'm pretty sure they did a tour, a co-headliner with Terror, and they played St. Andrews Hall.
yeah.
Yeah, and Unearthed played that show
Unearthed
as well.
played that
Yeah,
show, that's
'Cause
correct.
There's a fucking Spider-Man jumped off of the fucking speakers there at St. Andrews. Those 20-foot speakers. Spider-Man jumped
That's
off.
awesome. Yeah, so fast forward, I guess, to Let It Die. He was doing a thing with John Deering, who was originally in Black Dahlia Murder.
And then he was. I don't remember what happened with him in Black Dahlia, but yeah, he wanted to start doing a hardcore band instead, and yeah, I don't even remember how I knew him or how I met him.
John?
Yeah.
Me neither, because I was the last guy. They had a whole
Yeah.
band, and you had like at least 2 or 3 songs. And then you
Yeah.
called me, and you were like, do you want to do this thing? And I was like, I don't fucking know how to do that or whatever. So I went to their practice, and I just started screaming on a microphone. And they were like, yep.
That's
I was like,
it. It worked out.
Okay.
It's funny how
Yeah, we had like one song and turned a Chuggernaut song into this second song.
Is that what we did?
Yeah. I think there's 2 or 3 Let It Die songs that are Chuggernaut songs.
No way.
But, yeah.
See, I don't even remember that demo. That Chuggernaut demo, we burned on CD-ROMs, put it in the clear jewel case, and dropped them off at fucking
Rock of Ages?
Rock of Ages in Westland.
Oh my God.
Yep. So anyone that's still got one of those probably lived in Westland or Livonia.
That's
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious.
quite interesting to hear.
Yeah.
I got it.
You got it?
Maybe it'll
I want to hear it.
It'll hear
I
somewhere.
definitely want to hear it. I don't remember shit from that.
It's not bad, man. It was
I played
recorded
guitar
well.
in that.
Yeah.
I didn't even sing. That was
Oh,
fucking
I didn't even know you played any instruments. I didn't.
Chris sang on that record and played guitar, and I
Yeah.
also played guitar.
Yeah.
But I am not as good as him, so I'm pretty sure he had to record both of the guitars.
Do we want to tell the Lisp story about that? Because
We might as well. Since we already mentioned it.
well.
He's gonna be mad. No, the Lisp was gonna sing on that thing, and it just didn't work out.
I did because we went and recorded that with Mike Hasty, from
Cloud City.
Yeah, because he had a
At the
studio
Loft.
at the Loft.
Okay.
The dude from Walls, we recorded that, and I remember, we had Mike doing it, and he's like,
Didn't work out.
I don't know about this, guys. All right.
Yeah.
It was.
But Mike has always been a super good friend.
Yeah.
He toured with Let It Die, did a couple at least weekends or maybe even a week with us or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's always helped us out whenever we've been around. He's been a really great friend, personally and professionally.
Nice. Yeah, I reached out to him. Eventually have him over here.
What did he say? Does he want to come in?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Have his ass in here.
Yeah, he'll talk.
He's got a
Long
fucking
time.
shit ton of stories, dude. I guarantee you.
Fuck yeah,
And he went on to do what I went on to do, which is like traveling with bigger artists and making money, and he's been very successful. Speaking of Black Dahlia Murder, he tour managed Black Dahlia Murder for years.
No shit.
Like did co-headliners with Cannibal Corpse and like all kinds of like really, really, really awesome
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, dude. He's a fucking pro for sure.
Sure, Walls is fucking huge. Still, right? People love that bit. Walls of Jericho.
They're huge, yeah.
It's crazy.
Whenever they play a show, you know what? I feel like they've always been really smart. Not only because I think a lot of them have all chosen their own paths in life as far as like family. You know, Rawson's and Stick to Your Guns, which is a very successful band. Aaron Ruby's a very successful tattooer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they've kind of found a balance. And specifically overseas, I mean,
Yeah,
they
that's what I was
fucking
saying, they kill it
absolutely
over there.
murder it.
Yeah, he's
play in front of
Hyperfest
thousands
and
and
shit,
thousands, yeah.
or Hyperfest, however you say it. And it's just 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
they're
they're
one of
great.
those bands that like I felt like they never got as much hype here in Detroit.
Yeah,
But,
the
like,
United States did not have an appreciation as much as, but you know what? I don't think it has anything to do with them. I think it's just the cultural differences because Let It Die toured Europe, and we did 26 shows in 30 days or something like that throughout Europe, and there were a couple of venues that we did the proverbial show in front of the other band members or shows in front of 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, whatever. But then we played like in Germany, and there was like fucking hundreds of people. We played this squat in Florence, Italy. There was it was packed shoulder to shoulder. We
the
had
place
a
in
lot
France
of really
was nuts too. If you were there.
France,
At
yeah.
that college or
We
whatever.
talked a little bit about like doing cover songs and like Let It Die's history with cover songs.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned Poison the Well. We played Nerdy from Poison the Well one time, and it was at that show in France.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Nerdy.
We did it. We did do that.
That's like my first like introduction to like
Yeah.
the screaming fucking music. That and the band Hope's Fall. I'm sure you remember them.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
them and Poison the Well are the first like shit that I heard.
Trust Kill.
Yep.
That's
That fucking guy.
like,
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Okay.
Poison the Well. They got me. Yeah, because that was around the same. Yeah, that was around the same time I was getting into this stuff, and yeah, I saw him at Wired Frog. Remember that? fucking
Wired
place?
Frog.
No.
It's a Telegraph, right?
It was on Gratiot, right?
Oh.
And like up in
It was.
Oh, what
East
the fuck?
Point.
East Point. Yeah. Okay.
There's a frog on the Telegraph and 5 Mile. There's a frog there.
Bullfrogs.
Oh, maybe that was a
That
frog.
is a Chops bar where people go to get laid.
It's by Detroit Pop. I just
That's open anymore. That's Bullfrogs. 5 and Telegraph. Wired Frog is East Point on Gratiot.
okay. Different place.
But that was kind of like a place, like Flint Local was kind of like that, where like a lot of local bands could go and gang together as friends and like do a show, and if, you know, like 50 people showed up, everyone was like super psyched about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, towards the end of Let It Die, 2005, 2006, whatever, like Tyrant shows, you guys had the fucking like, it's like it could be a local show, but if it's you and Tyrant playing, there were like 300 people there. You know,
Yeah.
on a Wednesday night.
Was it?
Sure.
Sometimes, yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I
think
think
the Magic Stick would be fucking packed.
Yeah.
Or,
Well, so our final show for sure was packed. I think just because people didn't want to see us stop or whatever, and like at the time I had started touring in between tours, and then I had gotten offered like legitimate tours for legitimate money, and I was like, guys, I'm sorry, like, fucking, this seems like it's going to be an opportunity for a career, and like I don't care what you guys do, but it seems weird to continue or whatever, so we just didn't. But we did go out with a bang, and that was a lot of fun. Dave Hayes threw somebody down the stairs at that show.
yeah, it's a pretty funny story because.
Oh my god, that person's related to you, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh
That's
my
the
god,
funny
it's a
story.
great story.
Well, that's the funny story. Like,
name off if you want, but I gotta hear it.
no, I mean, this is fine. We can talk about this. It doesn't. Whatever.
We don't care. I talked to Dave about it too, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that. I wanted to whoop your ass at that show." I was like, "For real?" I had no idea the whole time. He was
That's
like,
your last show, you said?
yeah, he was
Okay.
like, "I'm gonna fucking whoop this dude's ass or whatever." And then like when he got into it with that person and threw him down the stairs, I was like, "Look, man, I don't even know what fucking happened, but that's not my people." And he was like, "All right, respect." You know?
Yeah. So that's what's funny about that is you remember the very end of Let It Die, like I didn't end up doing like the last few things.
Yeah.
Like you guys did like I don't know what it
There
was.
was some
like a
rocky
week.
shit. We did Tristain very dirty.
Yeah, there was some weird stuff happen. Whatever.
Yeah, we put it past.
15 years
Past
ago.
us. We had the conversation already. We don't have to make this a therapy session, but we did go through it and talked about it. And you know, I definitely owed him an apology, and you know, long story short, we basically said, fuck this shit, and then we went on tour without him.
What the fuck?
Yeah. It was shit.
But your band, everyone else went.
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Anyway.
So whatever.
Yeah.
It's all good.
We're good now. We're good.
Anyways, so I guess you guys did that. You did like a tour
gloss
with,
over that.
like a week or two with Suffocate Faster, and then you, I guess, did this last show with the Magic Stick.
Mhm.
I guess
You didn't play it?
I didn't play.
Great. Glad I remember that.
But yeah, so I wasn't there. I was not there, but some of my family members came thinking I was going to be there.
Oh my god.
And
Oh,
it was
that's
my cousin
awesome.
who was extremely drunk and kind of a huge mess. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's who got David Hayes through down the
Yeah,
stairs.
because it was like there was a moment those years that Let It Die was a band where there was a specific geographical location in the mosh pit where it was populated by people like Dave Hayes and Zach and like all these fucking
The
scariest
people.
monsters ever that you're like, dude, okay, so all I have to do to enjoy myself tonight is not go over by those guys. And you can mosh or whatever, you know what I mean? But if you ended up fucking with those guys square footage, you're gonna get fucked up and it's not gonna be pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just how it went. Dude.
So
That's just how it was. There was an understanding. You had a fucking, it's hilarious and cheesy to say, but you had a mosh IQ or you didn't and you got your fucking ass whooped. That's what it was, dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, my
You know what's
cousin
happening.
admittedly was not
Not
someone
at
with
all.
any mosh IQ.
No, nothing.
She was like, "Oh, that's my cousin's band. They're playing. I'm gonna go see them."
Yeah.
And then
Stand in front.
yeah, and then they go to a hardcore show, and
somebody
Dave
got
Hayes throws
fucked
them
up.
down the stairs.
Somebody got
So there you go.
I remember. I think told him that story before. But I know what band was. I said, I don't know what band was playing, but I know that happened for sure.
Yeah, and I don't remember if Chris and I have talked about this, but the other thing that I think was brought up was our record release show was at a VFW hall in the basement in Ferndale.
Yeah.
Whatever that street is, starts with a V, 1 block north of 9 Mile on the east side. It's a pizza, beer, bar, restaurant called M Brew now, but we played our record release show there, and Tyrant played before us, and the crowd or whoever wrecked the whole fucking place. Just chairs and tables and just like garbage cans and shit being thrown everywhere or whatever. Didn't we have to fucking like talk the dude off the ledge about like, yo man, like we're gonna finish the show, like
Yeah,
we'll give you a couple, you know, and we had like sold a bunch of CDs because it was our record release, and we just gave him the CD money and was like, buy yourself a couple new chairs and tables. Like, what can I say, dude? The show was fucking awesome. What do you want me to do?
And I remember that was the other
totally
time.
worth
Like, it's funny that those are the two times like unannounced like family members of mine came to like shows, because that was the other show they came.
Oh,
to.
I was there.
Of course they
Man.
see Dave and Tyler again. It's like this is what's going on.
This is
You
hilarious.
good? Another one?
Yeah, I'll take another
I'll
beer.
take another one. Yeah. But yeah, that's just fun.
Grab that
It's like
Aperol too, will you?
Yeah, the two times like my normie family comes to like see me. Like, Dave,
That's why, like, anytime my parents
Okay.
show any interest in any of that shit, I'm always just like, just no, please.
Yeah, no, I told him plenty of times, like, guys, you're not gonna like this.
Yeah, you always see.
You're not, they think they're gonna like it.
Yeah, and not only is the music like not good for like adults past a certain age, but like also like the kids get fucking rambunctious, and also it's fucking silly.
Right,
You know what I
somebody
mean?
who
Like, it's
doesn't
fucking
belong
silly.
there.
It's ridiculous.
Or who doesn't know they're ignorant to like what's
Yeah.
happening. They get mad, or
I mean,
they can just
that's
talk to anybody any way they want.
Yeah.
But they got 30 people behind them just foaming at the mouth, waiting to do
I
something.
mean, you
stupid.
see it anytime you go to like a Hatebreed show,
Yeah.
or whatever. It's like the people who don't get hardcore and the people who do, and it's always a big fucking battle.
Yeah,
I don't even know if they're like foaming at the mouth looking for that shit. Maybe there were some years where they were like predisposed for violence or whatever. But
So
I
you
still
see
think
it.
that like, dude, like
confrontation.
having certain confrontations and having relationships, friendships, fucking falling outs with people like that. It's just like they want to be there and enjoy this fucking show too. And if you got some fucking turd like skanking in front of you and fucking slaps you in the mouth with their smelly fucking bullshit or whatever, like they're gonna get fucked up, dude. Like get the fuck out of my airspace. You know what I mean?
for
You
sure.
smell like shit. And I think that's more along the lines of like realistically how it went.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was definitely some ego and some tough guy stuff, but honestly, like, dude, fucking
always reminded
get
me
your
of
fucking sweat off of me. Like, get off of me, dude. It's gross.
Yeah. Please go away, my sweet dogs. They love to come and interrupt these almost every time. It's okay. Thank you. So besides the Let It Die shows being so crazy and violent, I remember a certain group of your guys' friends seemed to never have any clothes on. They always took their shirts and pants off. A couple friends. You guys remember that? You have to.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Yeah,
Every time.
I
I
come
feel like
into
Robbie was naked a lot.
Robbie was naked all the time.
Yeah.
Our drummer.
Shit anywhere. Shit anywhere. Jerk off on your mom. Like,
Frank always had a shirt off. I'm like, you guys are underwear and flip flops. I know it.
Yeah,
It's not
you know, I
about-
think it just ultimately came down to like people just being comfortable and being goofballs.
Being
and
so silly.
like I had mentioned earlier, like we did come from more of a punk rock sensibility, so like the sort of playful nature of like what we did.
So much
And I think it also
Yeah.
goes back to what I said about people like not really loving us that much because we didn't give a fuck. We would do whatever, and we were smart enough to not get caught doing something that we weren't supposed to most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of
Yeah.
the time. But yeah, lots of nudity. I remember. Okay, I got a couple of great stories. Let's see. So
Plenty of Van War stories.
yeah, we went down to Ohio to do a string of shows with our buddies in Suffocate Faster for a weekend, and we stopped at a fast food restaurant or rest stop or something to get snacks and shit as we always would do on the way down. And I remember our friend that came was older than us, and he was very daddy. He was very daddy about everything. Like he was very like he was touring with bands, and he was just friends with us, but also like knew how to run a tight crew or whatever. And he was just like he wasn't tolerant of the shit that we would pull at all. But so for that reason, we had to just think on a higher level than he did. And I remember there was one time we stopped, and our merch guy was around the corner of the building across from the van, and they had one of those commercial air conditioning units where the fans blow the air up. And we gave him the signal when the dude walked out of the store, and he pulled his pants down and started peeing into the air conditioning unit, and piss went all over the fucking place, all over the dude, and it was fucking hilarious. And then, like, even on that same trip, like, he bought a bunch of snacks and a pack of gum or whatever. I remember we stole his pack of gum and just, like, we all, like, ate the whole, like, thing, and we were all chewing super loudly, and he didn't realize, and then he was like, what the fuck are you guys, did you guys eat all my gum? You know what I mean? Like, we were always just, like, playing jokes and just fucking with people. And
Great time.
we would run, like, people don't understand how much downtime there is to kill on tour. And I'm sure a lot of people spend that time sitting in vans, sweating their dicks off, sweating their pussies off. I shouldn't be exclusive to males or whatever, but like, people
Yeah.
sometimes, a lot of times don't talk about that. A lot of that empty space for us was spent adventuring, because even though we got to get on stage for 30 minutes or 25 minutes a night and do some crazy shit, we would do ridiculous. I know for like, okay, so some of the venues, there's no dressing room. Not that shit is hilarious. Like you sit in a parking lot, you know what I mean? You open up the back doors of the van and you're just like,
Wait till
if
it's your
you're-
turn, yeah.
and yeah, you just fucking wait or whatever. There's really just no accommodation whatsoever. I remember we were in Pennsylvania one time and we went and had lunch at a Subway, and it was like just this fucking hillbilly mountain town. There was nobody there, fucking nobody paying attention. Fucking sandwiches sucked, even for Subway standards, and it was just fucking ridiculous. And we just like, we're like, dude, you know, it'd be fucking sweet if we opened up the trailer door and put one of these fucking like picnic table situations in it, and then we'd have like a little dressing room on tour or whatever. So we literally like had two guys keep the door open, and the rest of us just picked up the chick. It was one piece, so it's two benches and then a table, and we picked the whole thing up, walked out the door, put it in our trailer, locked the trailer, and drove away. And that was our dressing room for like the next 3 weeks. Fucking
Dude's
Subway
good,
bench.
too.
So yeah, so
That Subway bench, that reminds me of when we were on the ferry. Do you remember that from
in Europe,
yeah.
I don't remember much about the ferry except for some fucking little limey
red
kid
drink.
went in my pockets trying to fucking take the money out of my pockets.
Yeah, no, I just remember that we were on that overnight ferry because we played in that weird ass
yeah.
place in Norway.
Yeah. We got tattooed by the singer. Thank you. Got tattooed by the singer of
Yeah,
Purified in Blood.
Yeah, the finger tattoos that I was too scared to get. But
Yeah, Tristan was the only one that was too afraid to get that one. But we all got
Yeah.
finger tattoos by the singer of Purified in Blood, which is a straight edge Norwegian band. They're fucking awesome. And I don't remember what happened on the ferry, Chris.
no, but I just remember it was like an overnight ferry,
Oh, there
and it
it
was
goes.
just like madness.
It's okay.
Oh.
Like
Sorry.
I remember we like broke into like an area that was closed off, and we like I don't know, like it was like the cafeteria thing, so we were just like broke into it,
Oh
and we were just eating like ice cream all night. And then I remember we threw.
What a bunch of
I remember we
shit,
threw
dude.
some shit off the boat.
What a bunch of
like
fucking
into the
idiots,
ocean.
dude.
Like we were just throwing like random shit they had
Tables,
outside,
chairs,
like,
benches,
just into the ocean.
just fucking, dude.
Being assholes. I love it.
so-
Yeah, and I remember someone came for us and we just
Frick,
like,
dude.
I remember we ran and hid in our rooms because it was this overnight ferry, like you had to take a boat basically to get back to mainland Europe, and it was overnight, and we like drive your van on there, and there's just like, it's like a huge moving hotel. So like we were getting like chased through the hotel. We had to like go hide in our rooms and stuff.
Jesus
and,
Christ.
The
Yeah, so
security.
we were like
was,
little
like,
fucking
so
spoiled little
ridiculous.
fucking pricks. Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of like the behavior that we exhibited. It was just because we like to adventure and have fun and stir up trouble, and for that reason, we didn't have. I don't think we really had a great reputation at all. Like, I know that I've had conversations with people throughout the years of like guys who were in Let It Die and then would go out, you know, like we had a dude that was went out and I think played guitar, tour managed Set Your Goals, and they found out that he was like in Let It Die, and they were like, oh my god, because we played some shows with Set Your Goals like in the South, and
Yeah.
like we were doing same shit, and people just didn't like it because fuck it, you know, whatever.
'em.
We were like
Fuck
little,
'em. How about that?
we were like little brats, you know.
Pop punk
But
shit
I'll tell you
out
what,
of
man,
it.
like some of those memories, they stick
that's
with us,
hilarious.
and you know, people have tendencies to do things that they're not proud of, and you know,
You live and you learn. Or
sometimes
you
you
don't.
live and you learn, or you don't.
Well, yeah, when you're a bunch of younger 20-year-old idiots, like out on the road with your friends, like
Who gives a fuck?
Taking a ferry from Norway to fucking Denmark, like at 20 years old for the first time ever. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we're ready to burn this whole fucking boat to the ground. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't.
yeah,
give
we're
a
getting
shit.
driven around playing
Yeah.
fucking stupid music.
Yeah.
Like it's like
It got really out of control. It was really out of control. Like, we'd come to your town, piss on your mom, kiss your boyfriend. I don't know why we kissed your boyfriend instead of your girlfriend, but and just like do like most gnarly, stupid fucking shit, dude.
That's so good.
It's crazy.
So how did you guys end up?
no, just the thing, because that's like exactly what
I haven't thought about it in years.
We would
That's
never,
exactly what we would do.
We would always go and find the dude.
Yeah,
to go.
but you know what? You know,
just
Big
to
Rob,
make people feel real uncomfortable.
Big Rob would come on tour with us or whatever, fucking smack some. You talking shit? Smack him. You know what I mean? Like he's just, you know.
I love Rob. Shout
Yeah,
out.
I love Rob. Rob Armstrong. I haven't seen him in a little while. I gotta see him soon.
I know he's doing well. That's all I know.
I bet.
Yeah, he's a family man. I living life.
Yeah,
Union guy.
dude. His location, where his house is, killer.
He's in the area close, right?
He's adjacent to Oak Cafe,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no shit.
Right?
Yeah.
right there.
I used to work at Jerry's right across the street. from
Dude,
there. Yeah. My dad.
Babushka and all kinds of fucking gnarly sausages from
Yeah.
there all the time. I love it.
My dad was part owner back in the '90s up until he died in 2009.
Mm.
But it was a good spot to work.
Fuck yeah, I bet.
Fresh meat is the best.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Shout out to Rob Armstrong.
Shout out to Rob
And
Armstrong.
Don.
Big
Or Don, his cousin.
I haven't seen Don in a lot of years, but I heard he's doing really well.
Don's one who got me into all this shit.
Really?
Everything at Jerry's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Don
people
and Don V and
Yeah.
Nick Z now is a very successful tattooer.
No, I was just but Don. I was like,
All these
who's that?
downriver
And then
guys.
it popped into my head. I was like,
Fat Don.
yeah.
Fat Don. I don't think he's Fat Don anymore though, right?
No, I don't think I haven't seen him in a long time. Last time I seen him, he wasn't that fat. So
Well, we shouldn't talk shit anyways.
fuck him. He's
Either
a
way.
dickhead. No, he was to me anyway.
Right on.
But
Were you in the middle of asking a question before we just...
No, I don't remember.
Okay.
what it
I was
was.
blindsided. No, you know, I was gonna say, so how'd you guys end up like in Europe? Like doing such a big ass tour, well, like a month long tour, 26 shows, 30. How does that work out? You coordinate.
I'm going to go ahead and
something-
hand it over to Tristain after I say, let the record reflect it was not a big-ass tour by any stretch of
Yeah.
the imagination.
It's been a month.
No, I mean,
It was a long tour.
it was. We got to tour Europe.
We got to tour Europe. How's that?
That was fucking cool. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Right,
But yeah,
that's about
for
it.
being, I'm trying to remember. There was a
What was the name of that? Still Life or something?
Still Life. Yeah. So there was this guy Fra. I can't remember his last name.
Francesco or something. He was a dude
Yeah.
that ran a label out there.
Yeah,
And he was doing a straight edge vegan hardcore band called To Kill. And he was like, yeah, dude, fucking put your record out and come tour. And we were like, cool. And we just like let him do everything.
Nice.
Yeah, it was just
Well,
this
Tristain-
dude got a hold of a hold of me somehow. I don't even remember, but yeah, just this guy from Italy. We were just emailing back and forth, and he was like, yeah, I'll put your record out. I'll book you a tour. And I'm like, yes, okay. And then he actually did it, and I was
Wow.
like, he
So
just like
show up.
Well, he would, yeah. It was
He did just show up.
basically, yeah.
Show up.
Oh Jesus!
Where we going?
Well, we got
Wild, dude.
showed up,
Wild.
and you got a hand stuck up your ass, and all
Oh
that
my
stuff.
god! We went through customs. I was wearing camo shorts and a 100 Demons hoodie, and they literally just grabbed me and they were just like, "Come with us." In Italian, I don't remember. And dude, I had to pull all my fucking shit down and fucking bend over, and they put a hand up my ass. It was gnarly. I was like, "This is fucking gnarly, embarrassing." I did not like this at all.
But yeah, no, I mean,
It's horrible.
he did it all. He booked the whole show. They had a van for us. We just showed up because like you would just email him and be like, yeah, these are the shows we got booked, and I'm just like, all right, cool. And when do we need to be there?
That's fucking so cool.
Yeah, and we just figured it out. Got our passports, and remember that was a mess too. For some reason, there was like a last minute thing with your passport.
God, dude.
But yeah, we got over there. We made it, and yeah, it happened. We played all the shows we were supposed to.
We did. Yeah, we did.
So, it's like getting there just out of your pocket, or the whole entire thing out of your pocket.
Yeah, the only so
But you're not making money when you're seeing
Yeah, no,
25
that-
people in a different country every night.
yeah, that whole tour I remember. That one was like, hey, pay for your plane tickets. We'll take care of everything else.
Okay.
And if there's
So-
money left over at the end, if for
Probably
some
won't
reason we'll give you a little. I remember. I don't even.
If
I feel like there was like a
if there
tiny
was
bit.
like we paid for like a plane ticket or something.
Yeah, I think.
You know what I mean?
I feel like I remember we each got like $100
Yeah,
at the end of the tour
It
or
was-
something ridiculous. Like,
it was nothing.
$100 is better than.
Well, the experience was.
Yeah, it was like, hey,
that's
yeah,
what
we got a month-long vacation in Europe and got driven around to all these crazy-ass places
It's crazy shit.
and just got to experience all this shit that, you know,
Went to the Louvre and shit.
whatever, 90% of people never really get to do. And it's like,
Yeah.
fuck,
That's kind
Like,
of
whatever
part
it
of the
takes.
experience
Yeah.
is like for us doing that is like, you know, if we would ever even consider describing the Let It Die's sort of like stint as successful, it was more about the level of experiences that we were fortunate enough to see. We didn't make a fucking, nobody makes a fucking dime doing that shit.
No,
they just don't. They
So
don't.
yeah, if you're
If they
playing
do, they end up
this type of
on a
music.
fucking Ozfest stage or something like this
Right.
and doing all that shit. And even those bands struggle super hard. So it was more about the experiences, you know what I mean? Like, I remember being 25 years old, it was almost 15 years ago now, and telling stories of being where we had gone, and people's minds would be blown because they couldn't even fathom like leaving their own hometown. So
Yeah.
in that respect, you couldn't buy that, you know what I mean? Like, we just did it. We just decided to do it. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, we got super lucky. Like, I mean, like we were talking about with Ramona, we just had this other guy who just helped us out. Like, he was into the band, and yeah, he hooked us up and
Yeah.
busted his ass. He did a lot of work, and yeah.
Just the networking alone, you know, it's just being nice to other people, it will help you
Yeah.
a long way, I guess.
Sure.
Or every time you hang your band.
I think he ended up hating us, but
100% those dudes hated our fucking guts.
Deposit back anyway.
Robbie and Moyan got arrested in fucking Germany
Holy
because
shit.
we stopped at like the German equivalent of like a gas station service center or whatever.
You know, my
Oh,
power
dude,
just-
one of those things.
Did you
One of the
see
ones they had
Power?
in Philly, the
Yeah.
big crazy ones.
Yeah, it's still going.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Brown out.
Holy shit.
Brown out. So
What's the big crazy gas station they have in like Philly or like in Pennsylvania?
That still is recording, right?
Wawa. It was like that.
Yeah.
It was like that.
So it was like a Wawa or like a Sheetz or something like that, you know? But it was in Germany, and they had these fucking obnoxious-looking 6-foot tall cylindrical bags of popcorn. And Robbie and Moyan just grabbed one and just started running out of the fucking store laughing because it was just like ridiculous, and totally got arrested. Like totally got
Just get arrested.
Yeah, totally got
Fuck.
arrested. We were like, dude, like here's a bunch of money for the popcorn.
Yeah, I was trying to remember that.
And they did. They let him go, but.
Like, oh, you have to pay?
Yeah.
Here, we're just government.
I did play a little stupid. Oh, we don't speak German or whatever. Fuck you.
You just pretend you have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're from America. There's
fucking
free popcorn everywhere.
like a Euro 50 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they're expensive pieces. It was just like, how funny would it be if we just walked out with these impossibly large bags of popcorn? Did it? But
Yeah, because I think that's the thing. Is like we were
got
never
thrown out of
doing it.
Stonehenge. Remember that?
Yeah.
thrown out of Stonehenge. So you go to Stonehenge, you can't go and walk up and like do selfies like on the rocks, like leaning on the rocks or anything like that.
Right.
They're stanchioned off like many feet before you can get there. And like we walked up to it and there wasn't a lot of people there and they're like, what the fuck is this shit for? And we just walked right over it. Walked right up to the Stonehenge and we're just like taking photos or whatever, and security was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you guys doing? Yeah.
There's no line.
Right.
Enough.
We did some good Vatican photos too. I remember that.
Vatican photos, dude, all kinds of shit. We're jumping in fountains, jumping around in fountains and city centers and fucking all kinds of cities. Yeah, so we went crazy, dude. We had a great time, lived it up.
Wow. Well, fuck. So is that like after Let It Die? Like, I know you continued to tour all over the place, but what did it?
I did a lot of shit. Yeah.
You tour too? Because
Did you tour? He's more of like an audio engineer. He's
Okay.
done awesome bands since then, and also recorded a lot of really great stuff.
Yeah, that's mostly what I was doing. I remember like after Let It Die, I broke up or whatever. I went back to school, started learning how to do recording stuff a little bit, and then just started doing that. And then that's how I got into a bunch. Like I think the first band I recorded was Johnny D's band.
In Battle Array.
Yeah, no, Eat Spit.
Eat Spit after In Battle Array.
After In Battle Array.
Johnny D
That was the
played
first-
bass for us to sell,
Yeah.
us, and he did In Battle Array, which was like more death metal.
Yeah,
kind
kind of cool.
Yeah.
They were kind of like
blast beats in there.
that stuff I was taught, like what Black Dahlia used to do,
Right.
with like In Battle Array, where it would be like
They were fucking heavy, dude.
Yeah.
Battle Array.
And then
Fucking
Eat
crazy.
Spit. That was where you
So
started.
I recorded. That's where I recorded them, and then I remember they like kicked out their guitar player and asked if I wanted to do it, and I started playing with them, and then
Oh, nice.
yeah, I don't remember. I just started, just got into the recording stuff for a while, and was doing a ton of that shit, and I can't even. I'd have to think and write down the bands I played in. I don't even remember now.
Just Wikipedia. You don't have a
Yeah.
Wikipedia page?
No,
Chris
I'm not-
Chastain
I'm not that
at
cool.
Wiki Chastain?
I didn't know you were in Eat Spit, 'cause I remember that band.
I played with them for a little bit, for a couple of
Those
years.
fucking shitheads. Those guys were shitheads, weren't they?
Yeah,
Too?
yeah, no, they were.
I don't remember.
Well, yeah, no, I mean the singer. I'm still friends with like Dickie.
Well, like partying, like, acting
remember
crazy at
Dickie,
shows.
yeah.
Ridiculous.
I remember the Modern Exchange, seeing them there all the time.
Well, Dickie's the guy that started like the guitar player for Tharsis, like
Dickie?
Tharsis Day. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it the same Dickie?
Yeah. Yep.
So that bigger guy, like
Wild
tall?
dude. Yeah.
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 Is he in the band
Dickie
with
was a
Jam's
fuck-
brother? With Eric? Tough Call? Is he in Tough Call?
No,
No?
I think you might be thinking of someone
I
else.
think I'm thinking of a different
I remember Dickie from
He was just the
Taylor,
other
right?
guitar player in
That's what I'm
Battle
thinking
Array. He was
You're
just
thinking of a different guy. Probably.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying Dickie's the guy, the other guitar player in Battle Array.
Okay, gotcha.
The
Yeah, he's
other.
also in the other band. They like sang too. It was
Yeah,
like,
he's.
It's like a pop
yeah.
punk band from Taylor. I forgot what they were
That
called.
was Tough Call.
But that was before.
Okay.
That was like
Battle
Downriver
Tough Call, yeah.
fuck, Love Show and shit like that. Remember Queer Life and all those bands?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I love Queer
I
Life.
think Let It Die played with a bunch of those bands.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were like, I don't, because like I'm still good friends with Little Dave Latinus,
yeah.
and like him and I did a Misfits cover band for like 7 years. We just to scratch the itch because nobody wanted to be in a band, but we'd just be like, oh dude, we can fucking play this Halloween party or something.
That'd be fun.
You know, it was so much fucking fun. Dave is amazing. He sings, plays guitar, plays drums. He's a fucking whole band himself. It's
Well,
ridiculous.
goddamn.
Right? It's crazy.
But
yeah.
yeah. No, yeah, I was gonna say a couple. Yeah, I did the Eat Spit stuff. A couple of those dudes. Yeah, like you're saying, they're douchebags, but whatever.
No, I'm talking about whenever they played a show, shit was
No, I'm not afraid to
crazy.
say it. Afraid to say it.
They were
Yeah.
douchebags to me. I just remember it always being like crazy times with them.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like
Yeah.
at the modern, like just people just
Fucking
being
that
assholes.
place, throwing garbage cans, just
Yeah,
harassing the owner. Like, fuck you, Doug. I remember Doug. He was walking around with his.
We only did Let It Die play. I feel like we only played the modern maybe once. I don't even remember if we ever did, but
The only thing I remember is we played Modern Exchange on Halloween, and we only played cover songs.
yes, I do remember that show. Yes, yep, I remember that. That was weird as fuck.
That was weird.
I remember that show, but I couldn't tell you one cover. 'cause know
I can
guys
tell you all of
played
them.
a few. Yeah.
Bulls on Parade, the Papa Roach song.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Joe Hyde rapped the verses on Bulls on Parade, and it was phenomenal, by the way.
Oh, 'cause you put up a set list, I think, before you guys even played, did you, or no?
Probably because we were begging for people to like it or
Yeah.
something. I don't fucking even know.
That's
But then it was
genius.
like Buried Alive, Death for Every Sin, AFI, Suicide Machines, Hatebreed, probably, fucking just a bunch of other hardcore punk
Probably Slipknot.
Sick, always.
We could
It was
never-
almost every time that one
shit. We
was
could
played.
not get away from playing that song, and it's
Why would you?
I don't know.
It was so
Terrible.
fun, dude. It was so fucking fun. People loved
Well,
it.
dude, it was one of those things. Like anytime it's like it turns into a gimmick, and then it's like, I don't know. It just becomes annoying.
Yeah, right, you guys, but people.
Yeah. No, I get it because it's like, yeah, it's fun.
And when you do like, I'm doing like the heavy breathing vocal, like part in the bridge or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
it's like, this is so sick. This is so dumb, dude. Like, give me a fucking break. But you know what? I'll say some of our best shows that we played, we did play that song, and some of our best like crowd responses came from that. Ironically enough, which I think says a lot about just like what the public wants or whatever, what people's
Yeah.
perception of what.
I feel like that song, like us playing that song, made us friends with some bands on the East Coast.
Mhm.
Like I remember specific bands, like
Yeah.
they saw us do that cover and they lost their shit,
Mhm.
and then we became friends with them, and they
Mhm.
wanted to play shows with us after that.
Who's the dude
Like-
from On Broken Wings? Is his name Jonathan Blake?
Yep.
Yep.
Super
Yeah.
fucking hard dude.
Super
We played in fucking Albany,
I think it was somewhere in New York. I don't remember.
Valentine's in Albany, I think we played, and I don't remember if On Broken Wings played that show. Did they?
They did.
It
yes.
was Blood In Blood Out, Recon. Remember Recon?
Yeah, I think there was like
super
a.
heavy.
Did Shattered Realm play
I think it
that
was a
show?
Shattered Realm, yeah.
played that show. And they're just hard motherfuckers everywhere. And I remember we played the Slipknot cover because we were just like, fuck it, let's do this. And Jonathan Blake, I can't remember if he punched me or pushed me out of the way, but he took the mic right out of my hands and just sang the song. And I was like, that's pretty awesome. I'll just let him do it. And I think he took his shoe off and he was slapping kids in the face while I remember fucking shoe while he was singing the song.
I remember like they were like we started playing it, and then I just saw some commotion happen. Like he just like flipped over their merch table or some shit and came running at the stage and like just ripped the mic out of your hand. It was just like, what the fuck?
We're really playing Slipknot right now.
Fucking great.
Fuck it.
It's really great, actually.
That was the
I loved
best.
it. Yeah.
That's the fucking best.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, just going back to how crazy the shows were around here. I don't know. I'm sure I've mentioned it already, but I don't know if it's a VFW. Maybe Northville or Port Huron.
Northville.
Snow everywhere.
January 1st, 2006. Is
Okay.
that what you're talking about?
Maybe
On
someone
High
threw
Street?
a fucking spare tire in the pit and hit somebody in the fucking face.
That was a Let It Die show?
Yeah. I don't think it was that one. There's another one, maybe Romeo or Port Huron for sure.
Okay.
But I do remember that one because it was
Maybe.
with Bishop,
Bishop.
and that Reign of Terror, that like rap fucking straight edge band.
And
Yep.
Red Baron also did that with us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that show too, but it just let's us to going back. So who brings a fucking spare tire into a mosh pit and throws it? It was like they're like spinning around and threw it. This guy was moshing, having a good time. Boop!
Just took him out.
Just out on the ground, whatever it was, like screaming to Slipknot or whatever the fuck you guys were playing at the time.
Stuff like that happened, I
The
feel like, all the
best
fucking
shit.
time around that era. Like, because our era was like 3 to 6. Like 2003 to 2006. And in those 3 or 4 years specifically, there were just so many auxiliary items in the mosh pit. There was just like, what's that love seat doing in the middle of the fucking, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden it's getting thrown or set on fire or something weird.
Yeah, a bottle of fucking piss being thrown in there, some nasty
It was
shit.
probably our piss, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Might have been
if it was the bit, I remember we had a huge bucket of a bunch of fucked up stuff at that Bishop show.
Oh yeah, dude, that was so great. Actually, with Bishop, we did a Van War with Bishop, and who threw the first? Oh, you know what? It was Chris, the Reign of Terror guy. He threw the first stone, and then we were like, oh, Van Wars, that's cool, because they like got Taco Bell or something, and he just threw all the tacos at our windshield when we were leaving the venue, and we are like, all right, motherfucker, I bet you were way more creative than you. And so like Pete, who was in Remembering Never, which was like vegan straight edge to the core, we went and got a bunch of fucking pillows from Walmart, ripped all the feathers out, and we tarred and feathered their entire fucking van, and then like put some fucking weird lyric on the pillowcase and like glued it to their fucking van.
Oh my
and that
God.
started it heavily, very, very, very bad, because what ended up happening,
That makes me mad.
we woke up one morning and they had spelled eat shit in shit all over our van. That was definitely one they got us on that was really good. We put this one was probably the least fair and probably the dirtiest one is we put glitter in their vents and turned all of the dials on, so when they started the van, the glitter just fucking went everywhere. I don't think they were very happy about that one at all. And then we called our buddies, dude. We called like Brian Bem and fucking Rob Armstrong, and I'm implicating all these dudes in this gross shit right now. We're like, yo, like we need people to like be vomiting and shitting and fucking puking in buckets and shit, dude. For that Northville show, and at that Northville show, we took a 5-gallon
Jerk it off,
bucket.
whatever you got.
Yeah, dude. Piss, shit. I don't give a fuck. The grossest shit you can cook, rotten vet. You got your dad's fucking compost pile at the fucking garden or whatever. Like, put it in the bucket, and we fucking covered their van in fucking just disgusting, gross shit.
God.
And that was the end of the van war because that was the end of the tour. I don't know that anyone particularly won. Actually, I think everyone lost because it was really stupid and ridiculous.
That's so much
There's
fun,
usually
though.
not a winner in those things.
Yeah. Fun times though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But even you went on to do some. What do you do with your life? You fucking tour every day of your life if it wasn't for COVID, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I guess I
know you
would
would-
still be on tour. Yes.
Deal
So
with bands, certain. bands.
because of friends that I met in the hardcore like punk rock independent music scene, which led me to Let It Die. In between doing tours, I would work as a stagehand for shows, making $90 a day, moving gear for whoever was in town that day. You know, you could do this production runner thing where you're basically the errand boy, or you go get them food. You know, get the guitar tech spare parts that they need to fix an amp or pedal board or anything like that. And when you start to do that, from my vantage point, you know, you start to see the same crew members, the same tour managers and stuff like that, and you leave a lasting impression. And eventually, I got invited to go on tour, and the money that I was making was like, oh wow, I can make a career out of this. So I went on tour, and I did that for a lot of years, and it took me everywhere. And I toured with some awesome big bands, and then it got really lonely and tiresome, so I left and I came back, and I just recently went back to it. And I was probably about a year and a half or so maybe in before COVID hit, and now I don't know if I want to do it at all. But the really great part about that story is that I got to scratch that itch, you know, because when I quit, like early on in my career, I was always kind of like, man, like if I would have stuck this out, if I would have played the social butterfly game and, you know, schmoozed a little bit to make sure I had the next gig when the one gig came off, where would I be at today? And it's just hard. You can't manage relationships. You can't manage friendships. You know what I mean? Like, I had zero presence in like the scene that I loved so much at the time, but I couldn't ignore the fact that the bills have to pay them. You know, the bills aren't going to pay themselves.
Right.
You gotta make ends meet. And I'm kind of one of those weird nomadic people. Like, I live on an island in the middle of Lake Erie right now. And like,
That's why you're always posted from Ohio and shit.
yeah, and I come here, like I've been telling these guys, probably sick of hearing it, like how I just fucking hate America. Like, I don't want to fucking do traffic and like fucking hot roads, dude. It's probably 15 degrees cooler where I live right now. It's probably fucking beautiful and amazing, you know? And, and it's just,
Hot road.
you know, it's a little bit different because I don't have, you know, I'm not married, like I don't have children. I don't have a mortgage anymore, like I don't own a house or anything like that, but I can wake up and decide to do whatever the fuck I want to, however the fuck I want to, whenever the fuck I want to, and for me, that's life. That's the best way to live life.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Fuck. What are you doing? You recording shit still?
Yeah. I still do that once in a while, but
I know you got another band right now, right?
yeah, and I do the
Recording stuff, and it was-
Tharsis Day stuff. I've been doing for a while. That's just Dickie. I've been doing that band with him forever.
Well, yeah, it's been a few years though,
Yeah,
right?
it's been. I think we've been doing that band for almost 10 years. But I mean, it's never. It's
fun.
you know, anything I do now, it's not. I'm not trying to go on tour or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just record some music because I like playing music.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
yeah, that's basically like I'm doing that, and I mean, after Let It Die, and got into. I tried to do the recording thing for a little while, and then it didn't. I don't know, like recording hardcore bands. There's only like, there's probably like a handful of people in this country that can even like make a living doing it. So it's not.
Sure.
It's not a thing that is. You have to get lucky, and it just didn't happen. Like, it didn't really happen for me quite like I wanted, so I just ended up going back to school and doing engineering stuff. So I've always had a mind for that. So that's what I'm doing now. I still do audio stuff. So I work at Harman, that we do like JBL, Harman Kardon, all like audio stuff basically, and I do like car audio system stuff.
no shit.
Yeah, so like
He's being shy. He has a fucking sick job, and it's fucking amazing. And
Kitty cat. Get the
no, it's a fun job. Yeah, I work on like concept cars, so we come up with like what's the new latest greatest technology that audio technology that you'll put in a car. Like
That's cool though. Fuck.
like random, I don't know, like a big thing, like an example, like that people get it is like a big technology we've been working on for years is like, hey, I want to listen to something in the front of the car and my kids can listen to something completely different and I can't hear it in the back of the car with like sound cancellation and shit like that. So I do like, it's math engineering shit. So it's fun though. I still get to travel with it, so it's kind of like brings me a little bit back into that world. Sometimes I get to go to Asia and
Okay. Yeah.
how many
that's
times you go to Japan each year?
it depends. I mean,
If it's one,
Call him out.
that's enough, dude. That's incredible. Like
No,
the shit
it's-
that he does is amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I go to Japan or Korea or China or Denmark or Germany.
Oh, just or.
I'm just saying, Denmark is whatever.
Yeah.
Denmark is amazing.
No, Denmark's great. I was there. Like,
Denmark,
well,
again.
no, I'm not. Whatever. I lucked out. I got a great job.
That's
and,
fucking
like,
cool, man.
But yeah, like I get to travel to those places still. Like, I mean, I probably 10 times a year go on a trip somewhere.
Oh
so.
shit. I go to
Yeah.
Dayton every day. Dayton, Ohio. How about that?
That's a hell of a vacation, dude. I'm telling you. You better
I'm there for
fucking
15 minutes.
save yourself like a
Yeah,
little
15
while
minutes.
and go to Blind Rage, dude. Check out the record
Yeah.
selection.
Well, I get there at 6 in the morning.
That's probably not consistent with their hours. I would say.
I doubt
I
it.
wouldn't
Yeah, no, I get there early as fuck, pick up some bullshit for Chrysler,
Right.
up to Highland Park.
But no, I've been doing that for like 7-8 years, and still like recording when I can.
Hell yeah.
Because like I'm always like, I don't know. Once I found hardcore, it's kind of become a pretty big part of my life. So it's still, I'm probably always gonna keep doing it in some fashion.
Sure.
Like record bands when I can, or still play music when I can, or whatever. It's just it's, I don't know, it makes me feel alive, I guess, a little bit. So it's like,
How'd you get into playing guitar anyway? Like, a lifelong
I
thing
don't
you've been
even
doing,
like,
so fuck.
I don't even remember.
Remember,
Like,
just picked one up one day? Figured it
yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I think some relative had an acoustic guitar, and I just started messing around with it and like learning it, like looking up tabs and
out. Tabs.
Tablature, dude. Remember that shit?
yeah,
Yeah.
and trying to figure out songs, and a lot of like I was mentioning, like I got into music, like heavier music, through like the new metal path. Like I know a lot of people get into hardcore through punk or stuff like that. I was more like the new metal path, and like I was like learning Rage Against the Machine songs and
It's still
shit
sweet.
like that, and
Play Seven Nation Army.
Yeah.
nothing like that.
I had a guitar.
I'm talking more like
smashed it.
yeah.
What was the
Limp Bizkit
Seven
and
Nation
bullshit
Army
like
of our
that.
generation? Smoke on the Water, probably. Smoke on the Water, Come As You Are.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah,
right?
for sure, Smoke on the Water though.
Smoke on the Water was like an easy one. Yeah, there are a bunch of shit for like people that grew up around our age that played shit like that.
Well, yeah, no, I mean I started doing that, and then I don't even remember when I started like actually doing bands though. Like I think you were mentioning that the Kill My Numbers and
Mhm.
whatever. That's probably when I actually did my first like actually playing with people in like a band. I remember I would try to do like cover songs with my friends in like high school, and it was terrible.
Mhm.
Maybe like trying to play like whatever. I don't even remember.
Still fun though.
Yeah,
Having a
dude,
good
it's
fucking
totally fun.
time.
There are people that, they work jobs and, they make ends meet and then they do like cover bands at bars on the weekend. Those bands get paid like $500 to $1,000
Sure,
sometimes.
it's having a good time though.
Right.
Have a couple
And they're scratching the
beers
itch every weekend, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah.
looking to just scratch the itch like once every so often, you know what I mean?
So,
Like,
I mean, for
every
me,
couple
like,
of years, it's
yeah, I could do something every few years, and
Yeah.
it's enough. Make me feel feel a little bit of that.
Yeah, it exists in all of us, that excitement of getting on stage and playing, and the nervousness and just everything, I think is something that's just kind of written in people like us as like DNA, and that's
Yeah, and I don't know. There's still something like about, I don't know what it is, but there's just live music and just that whole like experience, that shared experience, and just
Sure.
everyone just vibing the same shit.
Yeah.
Like getting in a room with a bunch of people who kind of think the same and enjoy the same shit you do, and just having a good time.
Sure.
Yeah,
and
it's
fucking great time.
Even if you're playing a show in front of no one, of course, like when you have
Yeah.
a fucking stacked like crowd, when there's a lot of people out there, and especially if they're excited to see you, or they're surprised because they didn't expect that, and it's a positive reaction, that's always great. But I think even like going up and playing in front of nobody is just kind of, there's like a catharsis to that, where you're just like,
Fuck
man,
yeah.
like you're just like exercising these demons that you can't really quite touch on the inside, but you get it out, and you're like, all right, I'm good until tomorrow.
and it all did. I've had like both experiences where I've noticed it's different depending if I care about the band I'm in. That's a big thing too, because like I've definitely done that where I'm playing shows in a band that I'm not super happy that I've been doing, and it's like it does become torture. But like if you write the music and you're into it, sometimes it doesn't, like you're saying, it doesn't matter. But like it can become a job.
There were definitely
There
some
are-
torturous moments out on the road with us, for sure. Like
Yeah,
when we
yeah,
lost the
yeah.
van, and then you
Yeah.
had to like stretch out your credit to just make it.
How do you lose a hand?
Well, it fucking
blew up on the
blew up, dude.
mountain.
Oh,
We were in, like-
I thought you lost it, like,
Oh,
out of
yeah.
sight and it's gone.
No, but
on our way to San Diego, right?
yeah.
Or we were
Southern California.
we were gonna play Tijuana that night.
Yes, we were.
Yeah,
We were going to Tijuana, so we were south of San Diego. We were like 4 miles from the border, and this is nowhere. This is exactly nowhere. And I mean,
I remember we were just climbing like this hill
Yeah.
forever.
and it just fucking blew up. And we managed to get it outside of this like junkyardish area or whatever. And when we got it there, this fucking dude knew that we didn't have another choice. So he asked us for some fucking ridiculous amount of money to fix it, and we were like, we're absolutely not putting that amount of money into the van. Like, we'd rather die out here in the desert. And so I had a buddy in the Marines, and I called him. He was stationed in San Diego, and he fucking came down and picked us up, and we went to a dealership and we got a van. Meanwhile, Robbie Moyan,
Shrank.
Chris Moyan, who played bass in Let It Die, he plays guitar in Let It Die now. I probably shouldn't have said that before we say other shit, but that's okay. And Justin Schrank, who was selling merch at the time,
Yeah.
stayed in the desert in the van overnight. Coyotes, like, preying on the van and shit, you know? And we had when we got the van and we got back, dude, actually, you know what? Remember when we got that fucking motel room and we like sat in the hot tub and shit like that? And we were like, I wonder what those guys are doing right now. And they're fucking dying in the desert, dude. So fucking ridiculous. And so we got the van, and the very next morning we raced back up there, and we had such disdain for the way that guy treated us that we put dirt and mud in the motor, like in where you would put the oil. We ripped out all the interior, set it on fire, completely smashed all the windows out of the van, completely like scraped off all the VIN numbers and everything, and we just fucking trashed the fucking thing and left it right outside of his door. Got on our new van and took off.
Wow.
Peace out, bud. That was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Pretty epic, but you know, those guys suffered for a night for sure. But
I never got to play in Tijuana, so
never got to play in Tijuana.
Close.
Dude, how many stories have we heard of bands like getting ripped off by the fucking...
I hear that a lot.
Anyways,
I hear that
like,
a lot, but
It was very risky.
just for me, like I just remember back then, like it just felt like exciting. Like
Who were we
shit,
out with
we're
at
gonna
the time?
go play in Tijuana. This is gonna be fucking nuts.
Were we with
Yeah.
Folsom at the time?
Yes. Yeah.
Folsom, remember
Miss
them?
Folsom. Fuck yeah, man. This
Do you know
shit is good.
Spirit
That was
World
one of
is, dude? Spirit World? That's Stu from Folsom's new band?
I haven't heard it. I'll check it out.
Well,
That-
technically it can't be record of the year because I think it came out in December, but I'll tell you right now, it's the best fucking
Spirit World.
hardcore sensibility / thrash metal thing that you will
I'll
hear
forget
in the
it.
next
I'll
year.
write it down.
The record is called Pagan Rhythms.
Oh,
and
shit.
it's fucking sick front to back. That guy is fucking awesome. Like everything is
Their
awesome.
whole setup they had there, I remember, was fucking wild.
Yeah,
that was
dude.
awesome.
We played the Hammer House in Henderson,
Yeah,
outside
it's
of Vegas.
like a junkyard.
It was a junkyard, and it was one of the best shows we ever played, dude.
No shit.
Kids
Yeah, 'cause
moshing, there was fucking
So it's
dirt
outside,
flying
you
everywhere.
see?
It was a fucking junkyard.
Junkyard.
Yeah, because I
It
think
was
like
like a real junkyard.
It was
That's
like
fucking
the
sick.
I think there's brothers in Folsom. Like 2 of the dudes are brothers, and it's
I don't
like their
remember.
family junkyard.
Yeah.
And they built like a venue out, like a kind of like a stage out of scrap.
It was
shit.
wild. It was
Yeah.
wide open, so it was
Yeah.
kind of like almost like an amphitheater setup, and then there was a stage, maybe about 8 or 10 feet back from the opening, and then like the pit was right outside of there, just in the dirt.
That's
and it's just fucking dirt, gravel, and rocks, man.
It's, like, it's all covered in
Yeah,
dirt flying up while people are playing.
phenomenal.
Running
Yeah.
around.
Phenomenal show.
That's
The
so
Vegas
fun.
desert.
Yeah,
It's so
and that
hot.
was the 3rd week of August, by the way. It was 116 degrees.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the
I almost died.
that was the one time my shoes have melted on
Mhm.
on the sidewalk.
I was there last year. 28 is my birthday. I was there last year for my birthday. It was so fucking hot. So hot.
Unbelievable.
It's disgusting in Vegas, but
Yeah.
I go a couple times a year just for the hell of it.
Yeah,
I don't gamble. I just like to go.
yeah, dude.
It's fun. It's hot.
Good
Good
food
food
out there.
everywhere.
Cool.
Everywhere, dude.
Dude, it's cool.
I love that fucking place.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it when I don't have to pay. It's badass, but that's about it.
Oh shit! Company card status, dude. That's
Ah!
No, because no, Vegas is. Yeah, it's.
Could you be
Vegas
a
is
gambling
fun.
degenerate on their
No,
dime? by
I
chance?
can't
No?
do that. Well,
Just checking.
yeah,
For a buddy of mine. Not for me.
It's like, we need receipts.
We need
Yeah,
receipts.
you can
Lost
get
it.
creative with your expense reports, but yeah, figure it out.
Anyway,
But yeah, no, Vegas is.
That's yours, right?
Time. Yes.
Water?
Yes.
this is mine. My Sam's Club. You got your fancy.
Essentia, dude. ICH water spilling shit all over the place.
It's empty. So I heard you said that Chris is playing guitar, not bass anymore. What
Yeah.
happened? What happened?
Uh,
Fucking around or something?
Yeah, we started messing around again. They kind of, I don't remember how it came up in conversation. It did come up in conversation though.
You hit me up out of nowhere someday.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody like suggested something to me, and I was like, because I just don't feel connected to the material at all. However, you know, I most recently had another stint in the career of the entertainment business, and
Yeah.
I have a lot of empathy for a lot of people in that business because with COVID and the inability to have large gatherings. There's just nothing going on, and people can't make ends meet, and people are taking fucking jobs at Starbucks and shit just to fucking keep their head above water. And I was just thinking of that, and I didn't suffer from that. I was fortunate enough to have like a retainer gig, so my 2020 wasn't as bad as probably the average person in that industry. But I had a lot of close friends that did struggle. So
Yeah.
the idea had come up, and I was kind of like, you know what? I think I hit Chris up, and we were gonna have dinner, and we had talked about it, and I was like, I don't really know how I feel about doing it again, just because like I feel more disconnected from that material than I ever have. But if collectively the community thought that there was an opportunity for like Let It Die to play a show again or something like that, it would be really fun to do our best to generate a sick amount of like revenue for somebody who is helping that independent music scene. You know, it doesn't have to be hardcore, it could be punk, it could be metal, it could be ska, fucking I don't give a shit, indie rock, whatever, you know. We've always had run-ins with Maxwell from the Sanctuary, and I've always appreciated his contributions to the community as a whole, you know, because essentially like this whole thing and my whole personal reason for being in this is, you know, when I go to a show, when I listen to a record, if I'm driving, like it evokes an emotion that is very difficult to like put your finger on, but it's so significant. Your blood gets boiled. You know, it's like why people fucking freak out in the mosh pit and do
Yeah,
shit like
man.
that. It's like
Feel
it's
it.
like a,
Love it.
you know, and sense of community. And I met so many friends that today, you know, I still talk to and all that shit. So I would only be willing to do it if we could do something really fucking like as best as we could possibly imagine to do it. So we did come up with an idea, and we're doing a thing now. We're doing like a show. So we booked a show.
Booked the show.
We booked a show.
Fucking exciting.
We were a little unsure what was going to happen with COVID and whatnot. But also, I had this inkling that if and when there was going to be an opportunity to play shows again, everyone was going to be so far ahead of the curve that we would never be able to book a date.
Right,
So if,
right.
in theory, it wouldn't be okay to play a show come, say, the end of this year, it would be a lot easier to say, we already had this date, we can just push this date to next spring or next summer or whenever the world would allow it. But to start from scratch, like I talked to a couple buddies today who are looking to book other shows and other reunions, and they're like, yeah, we're trying to find a date or a venue, and it's just like, everything's fucking booked already. Solid. So I started in March, and I started putting some things together, and we talked about what we would do, and we talked about, besides, because you think about what is the biggest venue we could play, right? Like a fucking club, a couple hundred people or something like that. Best case scenario.
Right.
So $10 a head, $15 a head, you're generating like $1,000 or a couple $1,000 or somebody like after overhead or whatever. So like, how much effort could we really how much time could I personally, not being on tour, not doing anything, could allocate to making this thing super fucking special? So we're doing a show, and
I like hearing that.
I know we're doing it. It's cool.
So cool, man.
Dude,
It's
we
so
haven't
cool.
rehearsed yet, not even once, but we're definitely going to reprint a shirt that people really liked that we used to have. So all the profits to that shirt will go to the Sanctuary. I have 3 local artists involved, and they're doing screen print posters, 3 different types of artwork for each of their styles. They'll be available at the show, and all the profits will go to the venue. We're pressing the only record that we put out for the first time ever, Stick to Your Guns, and
we're doing that. Brendan Over and Out.
Over and Out?
Over and Out's gonna
He
do it.
reached out to me and said he would do
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
And then Chris wrote new tunes, and so we have 3 new songs, and we're in the studio.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, I saw Robbie actually play drums yesterday. So.
Robbie played drums yesterday, which
Yeah,
is
so-
hilarious. Actually, Chris Boyan, Robbie, myself, and Tristain were all in the same room for the first time in over 10 years yesterday. So
Holy shit.
drums are done, songs are written.
Since we were in that basement in Westland, probably, yeah.
Yeah, right.
So-
Playing that show for my
So
30th
did it,
birthday.
huh? Holy
Yeah.
fuck.
Guitars and vocals will start tomorrow, and if we get the shit done in time, we're gonna put the new songs on the vinyl, and if we can sell it at the show, we're going to. But we understand that every industry is suffering right now with this thing, so if it takes a little bit longer and we can do pre-sale and shit like that, we'll do the best that we can. But we know that we're just squeezing all this shit in. We're just happy that we put together what we think is a pretty cool thing. I hope that people will be interested in coming, because the lineup, in my personal opinion, is stacked as fuck. And
I
as
don't know
a
yet.
fan, I'm so excited for the show, and we'll be able to give back to the community that we may not be super close to anymore, but still makes us feel that. I know that you probably do if you're behind the board, at work or at home. I know when I'm behind the wheel of the car and dude, I just put that fucking that new band Big Deal, that EP.
Fuck yeah.
I have been listening to that thing non-fucking stop.
So good.
Tristain recorded that.
Oh, did ya?
Yeah. And
Good.
it's
Turned
fucking
out great.
awesome,
Yeah.
dude. It's
Turned out
so
great.
fucking good. So to be able to give back to that community that really made us be excited to be a part of it, I think is what the end result that we're shooting for is. And so, yeah, man, we're ready to rock and roll, and we're gonna fucking do this thing.
Yeah. Who else playing? Can you say that? Or is that confirmed yet? Or is it an idea? That's fine.
Yeah, there's no esoteric nature to any of this shit. At the end of the day, it's fucking hardcore, right? So
Yeah.
who gives a shit?
I give a shit.
So well, everyone. I hope that everyone is excited about it. There's no reason to be cryptic or anything like
Yeah.
that. So the show is going to be Saturday, October 9th at the Sanctuary.
Okay.
All of the proceeds are going to go to the Sanctuary, and the lineup is going to be Under the Knife from Flint. You know them?
I do. Shout out to them.
Fuck yeah. Super psyched. I actually just got the okay from them 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago maybe. So
That's
I'm
another
fucking
Maxwell.
yeah, right, another Maxwell. Big Deal is playing.
Oh shit.
Yep. D Block is playing.
Fuck yeah. Represent.
Enemy of God is playing.
Enemy of God.
And then, so with that lineup, I'm like super pumped because these are bands that are local to Michigan and they're doing a great job with their social networking. Their fucking music is right on par with anybody that could put anything out at this point in that genre. And above all, like, they're excited to play as well. So we selected those guys carefully. Young guns, 4 young guns, like, come in and just fucking destroy it. And then after that, we have 4 of these 4 old guns, I think I would call them. So Fight It Out is playing. They're from Saginaw, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Fight It Out is playing. Suffocate Faster is playing. They are going to be celebrating their 15-year anniversary of, what was that record? Kill the Messenger, I think.
Don't Kill the Messenger.
Don't Kill the Messenger. Yeah. Sorry.
What was it? Kill the Messenger? I don't know.
But yeah, so I think Brendan is also doing a
he's doing that
vinyl
as well.
pressing for that.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
on
don't
pre-order
know.
right now. I think it might be done before this goes out, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, today. Well, Thursday's the last day.
Okay,
Yeah.
right on. Well, perhaps Chris and those guys will have some copies at the show or something to sell. Like, that would be really fucking cool. So we were excited because, like, Let It Die played a lot of shows with Suffocate Faster, and they were always really good to us. So they're the only band that's a non-Michigan band that's going to be playing. So the Alliance is going to play because we play with those guys all the time.
Are you kidding me?
Yep. The Alliance is going to play, and then Let It Die is going to play. And we'll have 3 new songs, and that's 8 bands. It sounds like a long night to a lot of people, but I think that there's going to be a lot of like 15-minute sets because these bands just don't have a lot of material.
Yeah,
so they're going to rip it, and fucking backline that sucker and just fucking get on, get off, and just rip faces off, dude.
That's fucking sick.
We'll make our set interesting too. It's not just going to be
Yeah,
straightforward.
so yeah, it's not going to be straightforward. I mean, there's no question that we're like no stranger to covers, so we're working on a couple of things. We're definitely gonna play some Let It Die songs. We're definitely gonna play some new Let It Die stuff, and then we'll obviously do some covers as well. But we're working on trying to make that more interesting because throughout the years, you know, it's like the Slipknot cover, and you know, we play a Hatebreed cover here, we play a Buried Alive cover there, we do like a couple things. You know what I mean? So this is gonna be a little bit. Not necessarily of a departure from that, but just like hopefully like a little bit of an evolution. We're gonna try and get some special guests up there and try and rip some shit. But yeah, it took a long time to try and, I guess, curate this list of bands and figure out who was available, who was going to do it. Some things worked out, which I'm super fucking happy with this lineup. Some things didn't work out, but I think that there's opportunity in the future for some of those things that didn't work out. Sure. And dude, I know for a fact I've told some old heads that, you know, were around when we were around, and everyone's excited to just get a bunch of fucking old dudes out there sweating again and having a good time.
That's so funny,
and above all,
man.
seeing familiar faces that we might not have seen in over a decade. So we're fucking
Well, at least for the last couple of years, basically.
Definitely.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Most
That's
people haven't seen
fucking
anyone.
cool though.
Yeah.
And it's out of nowhere. You just wanted to scratch that itch, like you said. It's about time.
Yeah, scratching the itch is cool. You know, like I've definitely mentioned a couple times already, not feeling connected to the material.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the opportunity to generate some revenue for a venue of somebody that's helped us out quite a bit,
Sure.
And who helps out bands quite a bit,
Constantly.
was something that we want to do. And then scratch the itch. And I think it was that like loss of connection to the material that we were like, well, how fun would it be to sit in a room and talk about what Let It Die would still be like today? And you know what I mean? Because bands get back together all the time and put out little things here and there. And we talked about the healthy balance of like, you know, evolution. You know, if we haven't written any material in 15 plus years, what would that sound like now if we were always doing it all the way through? Would we have evolved? Would we have changed? Would the thing sound completely different? How would we do it? And I think what we came up with is pretty fucking ridiculous, actually. It's really fucking good. Yeah, it's good. It's 3 songs, and it's pretty fucking good. And we're excited to share that stuff.
Some fun stuff. So.
Yeah,
It's fun, man.
definitely some
I
fun.
can't wait to hear it. Like, just to see, you know, you guys have all grown and evolved, so it could be
Yeah.
something completely different.
We talked about
don't know till
sampling stuff. Do we have enough to like share?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Just like share the new stuff at all. Do we have anything to share?
I mean, I'll get him something.
Yeah, we'll cut something up and like for when you put this on or whatever,
Okay,
we'll cut something up and maybe you just fucking throw it up there. But like I said, like guitars aren't finished and vocals haven't even started yet, so it's gonna be raw. But dude, Robbie hits harder than ever. Swear to God.
Yeah.
That guy's fucking strong.
It's
He's in
fucking
there.
fun. So, 4 you guys in it this time?
5.
5?
Yeah, so it's myself and Chris, and then Chris Moyon from Fireworks,
Yeah.
who used to play bass and Let It Die. He plays guitar now, and he and Tristain, the arrangement, and they never wrote music together before. The shit that came out of that is fucking ridiculously sick.
Cool.
It's fucking awesome. Matt Durda from The Plague, an old metal band, he was the original bass player of Let It Die. He's going to participate, and then Robbie, who is the drummer that was in the band along with us.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's all people that were in the band.
All people that were in the band. Maybe not people. Well, Durda played Hellfest, so Durda was around at least through 2004.
Yeah, no, Durda I guess did play more than the one show. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, Durda did.
Phil just did the one.
Phil did one show, and then he was gone. And then John Deering toured with us for a while. We thought about contacting him, but I think he makes knives in Texas right now, and that's so badass I wouldn't want to take him away from that.
It is badass.
And then a couple of other of the members were either, I don't know, not into it, or they're also busy, like with their own careers, and just don't live around anymore. So.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking about though with that, it's like I hope the Canadian guys are allowed to come over by then.
One of the bands that did not make the cut that I really desperately wanted, I don't know if you've heard of them, they're from Toronto, they're called Die Alone. They just put something out, and they're fucking awesome. I think they came from a band called Rust, maybe? I might be totally wrong with that.
Oh, I don't think I've heard of Rust.
Okay, they're awesome. Listen to that. I'm pretty sure it's on Spotify, the Die Alone record. I forget the name of it, but it's an EP, and it's fucking awesome. And I reached out to those guys, and they were like, dude, they basically got us locked up in the house. Like, there's no way we're gonna get over the border.
They're still pretty locked down in Canada right now.
They are.
It's crazy.
They are. But yeah, man. I
Sorry
would
for
like
it.
to see some of our buddies from Canada get over here, and maybe by October that will loosen up a little bit.
Sure.
Maybe they'll be able to travel.
Yeah,
over.
they just need to get like maybe a registered nurse by then. They can come over.
We had a really good sort of like support, I guess you would call it, in like both like Sarnia
and
Windsor.
Yeah.
We played a lot of shows in both those towns that were all really great. We would do shows with like Dogs of War and shit.
Oh yeah.
And then I forget the bands that were on the other side that we would play with often, but I feel like there's like a lot of closed casket activities bands that we played with, like metalcore, super dark,
Sure.
heavy shit. But yeah. So I hope some Canadian people can make it, but honestly, I hope that anybody just wants to come out and
Come on
see
now.
it. You know what I mean? Like, it's been so long, and like honestly, like we're aware of how dated the stuff is, and the new songs that we did are not a far departure from what we were doing. Like maybe a little bit more like Tristain's got a little bit more flair to it, and there's a little bit more cohesive composition, but honestly it's probably just mostly the same shit.
Good.
Just
I like
heavier.
it. I listen to those fucking same 10 songs over and over again.
Oh yeah?
All the time, yeah.
I'm not trying to reinvent anything.
No, dude. No reinvention of the wheel whatsoever. It's definitely not broke.
Over
Don't
and
fix
over
it.
again,
Just
yeah.
fucking do it. So yeah, so we're pumped. We're doing that. We're doing that thing.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's all you can ask for. This is just like give back, and whoever shows up, they pay their money to give to Maxwell. Something for him to
Absolutely.
pay for another fucking show or whatever he's got to do with it,
Yeah.
because he's been hurt. I'm just glad he's able to keep that place there. For the past year and a half. Like, he's not making money on a bar night, so he's not going to open up for fucking 25 people. It's not worth it for him.
Yes. The overhead with how he has to stock, his alcohol, the non-alcoholic beverages, and all the stuff that he offers there. Keep the lights on. You know what I mean? Like, he has bartenders that depend on money, sound guys get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
It's definitely a tough gig, and definitely have a lot of respect for him. The fact that he would take the chance and say okay on that shit. Anyways, like I feel like he's got a show maybe in July with like Deicide or something like that. Like that's pretty fucking daring to just go ahead and just be like, all right, we're gonna try and figure this out, because that had to be booked months and months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now he's announcing all kinds of fucking crazy shit. Like he announced a fucking double header with Acacia Strain and Harm's Way.
Yeah, double header. Yeah, I know, dude.
Tell me nobody's gonna go to that fucking thing, dude. That sounds amazing.
If I pack that fucking place out, it'll be. I mean, if it can survive, October, when you guys show up there, I'm burning the fucking place down.
I don't even know what to expect, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised
I
if
expect a good time.
nobody came, but
Shut the fuck up, man.
I will say that people will come and go early because those fucking young cats are doing a really great job. Like, as far as the social networking campaign for, like your Under the Knifes, Big Deal doesn't really have a big presence. I don't think they need it with that fucking awesome EP that they put out. But your D-Blocks, your Enemy of Gods, like, people are paying attention. They're very involved in the community. People are going to come out and see those fucking bands.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I don't even know how many of those are going to be first shows by the time October comes around. They might play shows before. I mean, I don't know. That's awesome if they do.
Yeah.
But, like, it could be, like, a really fucking cool show to come to see, like, the top of the heap of the young talent. And then, if you feel like staying for the old dudes, we'll see what the old dudes are going to do.
That's when.
I might keel
God,
over and fucking...
It'll be the same thing. Everyone's gonna go inside
Yeah.
when the fucking last two bands go on.
Definitely not for the Alliance, dude. I imagine people are gonna fucking hang out for the Alliance.
I can't
That was one of
fucking
my
wait for
favorite
that.
bands to watch.
Joe.
We would play
Hell
shows.
yeah!
Yeah, dude, I'm psyched. We're gonna play that song on that record, Thick as Thieves, and I know Joe's gonna come up and sing it with me, so I'm super fucking pumped about that. So,
That's gonna bring back some shit.
so yeah, so we're gonna
Feel young
try and
again.
do as many guests as we can, but a lot of that stuff logistically with scheduling conflicts, we'll see how it works out. But
It'd be good to see him.
It should
Been a
could be
minute
changes
to see
between
Joe,
here
yeah.
and
yeah, I
Well, yeah, you had Joe.
I've
Yeah,
known Joe in a
Joe's
long
on
time,
this.
but
yeah.
Recently, yeah.
I know he's busy, and I know he's,
Listen,
he's got
listen.
his shit straight. I'm sure because he's always been a fucking awesome dude. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, man,
Well, fuck.
October 9th,
October 9th.
Sanctuary, Saturday.
Line up one more time.
Under the Knife, Big Deal, D-Block, Enemy of God, Fight It Out, Suffocate Faster, The Alliance,
That's so stupid.
Let It Die.
Yes. That's it. Good times.
It's gonna be a fun night.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
End that show, right? Or keep talking. I don't care.
No, fuck it, man. Leave it on.
Okay.
I
Do you have to be anywhere? I don't have to be anywhere.
No, I'm not in a hurry to go anywhere.
No,
I need to use
that was a
that.
cool.
I need to use
yeah,
that.
yeah, go
Yes,
to
sir.
Yeah. You have to bump the door, close that wire, unless you leave it open.
Leave it open, dude.
We want to hear you pee.
Leave it open.
Let's listen.
Mike over there. He has to bring a 10-foot cord. So that's cool. Yeah, I fucking appreciate you coming way up from Ohio. You're staying in right now, so.
I am. I'm on an island called Kelly's Island, which is 5 miles north of a peninsular town called Marblehead. And imagine, you can see Cedar Point from the island. So
Okay.
it's 15 miles west of Sandusky, I would say.
Oh, so you came a little bit of ways then.
Little
An
bit of
hour
ways.
and a half.
I leave myself 2 hours. The boat ride is 4.7 miles. It takes about 25-30 minutes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so I have to be on the ferry boat, and then I have to drive about 100 miles. So, but yeah, I came. We're doing the recording thing.
Yeah.
And so we have a deadline to meet to do our best to get that thing pressed. And then we'll go into rehearsals. I don't know. How many fucking rehearsals do you really need for this shit?
God, we
3,
played a lot.
4? You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
You know what I
fucking
mean?
exciting,
Like, if we could start rehearsals on like September 1st, I think we'll be fine. You know what I mean? We'll do like 4.
You said tune your guitar. Okay, yeah, we're good.
I guess the interesting part is that if I'm doing vocals tomorrow, I don't have no idea what I'm gonna sound like. But
Oh, you haven't even screamed in a while?
no.
What are you waiting for? Your throat's gonna be bleeding by tomorrow afternoon.
I'll be all right. Hot tea, warm whiskey.
Yes, how do you condition your throat? 'Cause every time I sing along to the band, I go like, what the fuck?
How did
Fucking
I?
20 fucking.
How
20
did I? I
fucking-
didn't.
Sure. Oh,
Yeah, I never did.
Just
And I
done
was
with
sick all the
whatever.
time. Wasn't I the sickest person on the road?
Yeah.
I was sick all the
I
time.
feel like.
All the time.
yeah.
Like there were a couple shows. I know we played Romans in Brockton, Massachusetts.
Shit.
And that's a pretty legendary venue. And I was sick, and I crawled out of the van and went on stage and could barely even sound like anything. I mean, literally almost nothing was coming out of the mic. We just played like 5 songs or whatever, and then I went right back to bed. Van. So I was always sick because I didn't know what I was doing. I was, early 20s, fucking,
Just a mess.
just a gross mess. Didn't take care of myself, Shitty diet, like we didn't have any fucking money on the road. So I remember there was a stint, that same stint with the van situation with Folsom and shit, where we could literally afford a jar of peanut butter and a loaf of bread, and that's what we ate for about 4 days. That's it. That's all we could afford.
That's crazy.
We didn't
That's
have
tough.
coolers, no refrigeration. Finding a place to stay was a little bit more few and far between than it ever had been, and that's just what we chose to do. And but now since I did that, a lot of the guys that I've worked with, like Lil Dave and Moyan and stuff throughout the years, because Moyan did the Misfits cover band with me for a while, and my buddy Sean Connard, they had showed me how to like sort of push with the diaphragm or whatever, and like I'm still not good at it, but it helps a lot. And then there's this whiskey called Evan Williams that's super, super cheap, and I know it might be weird, but like whiskey in general doesn't really do the trick, but if you take a shot of that and then gargle it, it opens your whole fucking thing up.
No shit.
So I just gargle whiskey on stage and just make it through.
Well, be sure to put a bottle of whiskey next to you in October.
I'll have it.
Dump in your mouth. Screaming Slipknot songs. or whatever's part of
We
the
don't
set.
have to play Slipknot, I
No.
don't think, at this, do we? I don't
No.
Maybe, maybe like D-Block or Enemy of God would like to play Slipknot or something. So we can do that too.
What's cool? I was talking when I had Camden from a D-Block on. He was telling me they want to cover a fucking Fear Factory song. That'd be so fucking fun, man.
Do it. 100% do it.
I haven't heard
Obsolete.
They got a drummer that can do that?
I can guarantee you that we will play a new metal song, but I cannot guarantee you that it will be a fucking Slipknot song. 100%.
That's fucking fun,
So
man.
I encourage anybody, because I have some correspondence with all the bands that are on the show, but if those guys are already in rehearsals, or if they're doing new shit, learn a new metal song, dude. Who gives a fuck? Have a good time.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions for songs they want us to play.
Oh yeah, sure. Because we've never been strangers of.
So there's a song I would love to hear. Fucking Death Threat. What a song I say. I can't remember the name of the song. Nice guys, finish. Dead fucking. Oh yeah, Dead Last.
Dead
the name of the
Last.
song,
Yeah, Dead Last. Yeah.
I listened to it back. I said it sounds so good coming from you. Fucking screaming it.
That song?
Yeah.
Yeah, because his vocals aren't really like that.
No,
They're more
he's
like
sort of
hardcore.
Yeah, it's like talking
East Coast.
pretty much.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
heavy ass
really
breakdowns.
deep.
Like good breakdowns in this song too.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna like launch a. That's the other thing is like, we're not gonna like launch a social media campaign or anything like that with this. We're not gonna like do a Let It Die Instagram account or anything like that. We're just gonna be like, you know what, man? Like, remember when people just used to like tell each other about shows and go?
Yeah.
Like, hopefully social media does its thing. Like, we can do our personal account shit.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
put the
like
flyer out there,
Sanctuary put a
it's
flyer
around,
out there.
yeah.
You know, like if you want to help out, that would be awesome. Other bands want to obviously have people show up to see them. I think that people, I mean, it's so crazy too, because we used to like look at flyers and we used to be like, dude, there's fucking 6 bands on this goddamn show. Oh my god. That would take forever. We just get there late and shit, like we don't give a fuck. We just want to fucking play and get the fuck out of there. It'd be so annoying when it just takes forever. Because, we're sitting on the ground at a fucking VFW. Like, we don't have anywhere to like be and be comfortable and like wait to like do this thing. We're just fucking sitting around,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
and we don't have like money to like go to a restaurant or go to a bar.
It's
like,
very different being on the road and like there's 8 bands playing and you don't know any of the dudes.
right.
And it's like when you're home playing 8 bands, it's all guys you know, and it's like, yeah, I want to check it out, but like it's just torture when you're doing that night after night on the road, and it's just like, I don't know, like, and you know how they don't give a shit half the time when they book these opening bands, so it's just like,
Yeah, they don't give a
yeah,
shit.
it's
So
it's rough.
that's why I wanted to work so hard to make sure that this lineup
yeah.
is not fatty at all. I think that every single fucking band that I just named, all 8 of them,
So good.
I was just complaining about 6 bands, all 8 of them, in my opinion, are all going to be worth going out and fucking checking out and smacking somebody to, or moshing or 2-stepping or whatever it is that makes you do your thing. Whatever, however you evoke that emotion, I think that there is going to be something that people are going to want to see with every artist that's going to be out there.
It'll be special.
Yeah.
Especially because who knows how many shows will happen from now till then. Sure, not that many.
I don't think so.
That those people will be interested in going to anyway.
Yeah, I think
So-
people are still a little bit weary, and I think that we're going to need some data to see, this July and August rollout. There's going to be more and more shows, and hopefully people don't get sick, and hopefully, shit doesn't happen. We're already seeing, I mean, dude, I'm in Ohio right now, and not that I need to say anything negative or positive about Ohio, but we haven't worn a mask in a really long time, and I get that people are still wearing masks, and everybody has the opportunity to, you know what I mean, do what they think is safe for them and the people that are surrounding them. But I personally haven't worn one in a long time. Got vaccinated, not wearing it. Nobody on the island is wearing it at all, and hopefully there are not consequences for that. And I hope that we don't have to lose too many more people. I know that we are still losing people, and it sucks. But hopefully we're going to be out of that really, really, really fucking soon. And I hope the shows don't work out. A lot of people are like, dude, so what are you going to do at the end of the summer? Because the gig that I'm doing is seasonal. You're going to go back on a tour? And I'm like, dude, man, festival season's coming up, and they're all booked, and they're all sold out. Like, once these kids are, like, moshing and crowd surfing and hugging and kissing and sharing drinks and clinking glasses and smooching and fucking and all this stuff, and then people don't get sick for, like, 90 days, now I'm good. I'm cool with that. You got 100,000 people in a crowd and everyone's rubbing up against each other, and then we're not sick. Okay, now we can see some, but the data's just not there to support that.
I mean, and my own dad, I survived that fucking Madball show.
You survived the Madball show, right? Yeah, there were a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Were there any reports from that at all?
No, I don't think so. I don't think.
I didn't pay attention. I did watch the clips, and that was pretty fucking awesome.
Crazy. I think they said like anywhere between like 25 and 3,500 people showed up in Tompkins Square Park. That was a fucking crazy time, man.
Yeah.
It was nuts. I'm
was
glad I
cool.
went. Yeah, me and Steve over here went.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking drive to New York. I've never been to New York.
Oh,
I wish
really?
I wish I could have spent more time there because I drove there Friday morning. The show was Saturday. Boom, I was out 5 a.m. Sunday.
How'd you like that Pennsylvania drive?
It's kind of boring. Really boring.
I mean, how many times did I do that? Several, dude.
Was it I-80 or whatever the whole way?
80, 90, yeah. We did that drive a lot of times. It was fucking terrible.
Time out, my wife said, "Hey, that guy's car window's down and starting to rain. Don't want to interrupt, but he might want to know."
I don't give a fuck, dude.
Okay.
That's cool.
He don't give a fuck.
I got a towel in the back seat. Thank you, though. Yeah, no, I don't care.
Mom's home. Run
I'll
away.
wipe it off. I'll wipe it off with my hoodie. I just hope it cools off the temperature because this heat and humidity is
Oh, disgusting.
unacceptable for me.
Yeah,
I'm not
and it's
down for
June,
it.
so welcome.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. We spit all that out.
Okay.
Had some good stories. That was fun.
hmm
And is there anything else? Well, your band just put out some. What did you do? Just a couple songs that went out, or was it an album?
Well, we did. We put we released a single by their band Tharsis. They did that a couple weeks ago, I think. But our album will come out in like August, I think. Called Hell First.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Hell First for sure. Sounds like.
It's dark. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's like different than this shit. It's more chaotic, crazy, converge-y type stuff, I'd say. But yeah,
I like
I have
the
fun with
singles,
that. That's
so.
the stuff. That's where my more like what I really like is that more that style. But I have a great time playing just straight hardcore too.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, But yeah, no, we're doing that, and yeah, that'll be out. That's been a long time coming because we haven't.
Tharsis.
Tharsis.
What's the name?
I don't know.
Where
Ask
did it
Dickie.
come from?
He's a weird.
Tharsis. They them.
Yeah, he came up with some weird. It was all from him. He's a weird dude.
I like it.
What is Tharsis? I don't even know.
I don't know what it is either.
It's like a suffix or something.
I'm gonna look it
something,
up.
Right? Google that shit.
No,
I don't know
there's-
what this means.
I think there's like
Pull that shit
a
up.
moon of one of the planets is called Tharsis.
Tharsis.
I can't remember.
Tharsis. Well, this is a video game. No.
I know there's like
it's a
some.
vast volcanic plateau centered near the equator in the western hemisphere of Mars.
Oh, nice.
Well, that's
Okay,
pretty
there you
fucking
go.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
that
you
is
go.
some
You're on the right
cool. I like it.
It's something on another planet.
Something like that.
Right.
And I'm sure that has
Let it
nothing
die,
to
huh?
do
Let it
with
die.
why Dickie came up with that name, but whatever. But no, we're doing that, and we'll play some we'll see if we'll play some shows. I don't know.
Follow,
That
find
band,
it, listen to
that stuff's harder to do because our singer's in San Diego, so we don't.
Oh,
Steve from Hollow Earth, that band. He's a singer for Tharsis, and he's out in he moved out to San Diego a couple years
Enjoying
ago.
the best
so.
weather in the fucking country,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. Yep.
Probably.
Yeah.
San Diego.
okay. Let it fizzle out. Good times. You just see there's a stop button
Thanks,
on
dude.
there, Steve. We'll block that